Hey y'all, this is Theron West II, and this is the Be Ready anthem, y'all. I hope y'all ready. Stay ready, be ready, 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 stay ready. Every show, new face, new dream. Young man out here building a team from the track to the court to the turf and the ring. They all grown different, but they got the same theme. Putting in work when the lights not on. Late night, early morning, still going strong. They don't do it for the lights, they do it for the fight. Future looking bright, cause they training for their life. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. Spotlight on them, time to show love. Brother smart and dream, all star from above. The hustle in their heart, purpose in their feet, and they voice on this mic that echoes in the streets. Every episode, no cap, no fake. Just young ones grinding, rising to the stage. Different faces, same goals. Rise above the pressure, yeah, holding goals. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. So put your hands together for my boys, Coach Tony and Carlos, for the Be Ready podcast coming on right now. Let's get it, let's go, y'all.
Yo, 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 we once again live and in color with the Be Ready Sports Podcast. Like the song say, you gotta be ready, stay ready, be ready, stay ready, like my brothers say. Shout out to Travell Richardson and Beats by the One Productions for our intro. Man, that thing is fire. It gets your juices jumping, right, Carlos?
Yeah, it's a very unique song. We debuted on episode 50 and it's been here ever since. 15, this is our 15th episode debuting in that. So,
Yeah, 15 episodes with that new one, and we just keep going on strong. Episode 65. Um, yeah, I know. We apologize. You guys were expecting a third person on the podcast tonight. Unfortunately, our guest, had to deal with a situation, so they're gonna be rescheduled at a later date. However, we want to keep the vibe going. We promised you guys a show tonight, and we're gonna deliver. You know, there's still a lot of things going on in the sports world to talk about, and you know, we're just gonna do it on the fly. We were prepared to have an interview tonight, but we're gonna do it on the fly. We're not gonna keep our audience waiting. So, but first things first. We always start the show with announcements. I got a huge announcement tonight, and it's regarding my co-host, Mr. Carlos Rios. Episode 65 is gonna be a historic episode because I wish we didn't have the drum roll on here. Jeez Louise, we got to download the drum roll.
yeah, you got to tell your brother.
We got to download the drum roll. But today is the very last day that Carlos Rios will come on the show as wait for it, as a minor. Carlos's 18th birthday is tomorrow. So Carlos gets one of these, man, one of these. So happy early birthday, Carlos.
Thank you, Coach Tony. Thank you. about to be 18. You know.
Man, man, that is historic, man. That's a rite of passage. You're no longer, as of midnight tonight, you will no longer be considered a teenager.
Yeah.
You will be a grown man, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. You could say that.
Carlos is going to enter the road of adulthood, so that's a huge milestone, and
Yeah.
I'm proud to say it. I'm, we when we met, you were in what, fifth grade?
I was around fifth grade. Yeah. I was pretty young.
Yeah, so it's very great. It's great to see, um, s- an individual grow up, get into their manhood, and watch their development as they grow. And y'all just don't understand how huge it is to see Carlos doing a podcast. Man, this dude was super shy. I ain't gonna embarrass him though, but now he's doing a podcast. 65 episodes and counting. And my man has big things popping and little things stopping. I can say
Wow.
that. I can say that now because well, no, I really gotta stay, but he's not an adult yet, so I gotta keep it.
Yes. Yeah.
But we're gonna have an announcement. We had to take a hiatus on our back to school contest because we had a situation we was going through on the podcast as well. But we are officially at the final four. So we will announce the winner next Sunday.
Mm,
So
okay.
the final four, these are the individuals that have made the final four, and we will announce the winner on the show. Announce the winner on the show. So the final four. Uh oh.
Whoops. There you go.
What happened? I don't know what happened to Carlos.
It's still there.
So the final four. First person in the final four is our dude Bryson.
Bryson, yes. I actually interviewed him. So I actually interviewed him. I believe he was my second time. Yeah, my second time doing a podcast by myself, and he was a pretty good guest. A very supportive fan base during the episode, and yeah, he's top four, or yeah.
Yeah, and he's also is in the top 10 with viewership on his episode. Prince still his number one. Prince is still number one, but Bryce is still up there. So you guys can go on our Instagram, uh, vote for Bryson, um, to win the contest. But oh shit! But he has stiff competition right now. Another guest that has a great fan base that's coming on strong for him. His second in the final four is our man Caleb Marinelli, who is a elite, elite football player out in Texas, doing his thing right now for his school. And right now, I think I had the pleasure of interviewing Caleb. I don't think Carlos was on that episode.
No, I wasn't. I was busy with a tournament up in Atlanta, so yeah, I was unfortunately not there.
The ATL. It'd have been dope if Carlos would have met Ti.
No, no, we didn't get in the city like that or anywhere.
But that's my man Caleb. He's the second one in the final four. The third one in the final four is someone who's a guest that's been had the most appearances on the show. It's our man Deuce, holding up to seven because he's in the seventh grade. Holding up to seven because he's in the seventh grade. Nah, but my man Deuce made the final four. So shout out to Deuce for making it. Cool fit and everything. And last but not least, we have a surprise who snuck in the final four. You ready, Carlos?
Yeah.
Our very first youth athlete that we've interviewed, my man Jace Valdez. You know, cool little fit, custom shorts. You know, you know, the fit stands out. You know, that's why we call him Swaggy J because the boy stays swaggy. So you can't have a nickname. I can't have a nickname Swaggy J and not be in the Final Four. So you guys go on the Instagram, vote for these four young men, and let's see who pulls it out. Let's see who wins the Be Ready Sports podcast merch. So who is your favorite, Carlos? I'm putting you on the spot.
Favorite? All right, so favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
who's your favorite?
Hmm. Out of the four, out of the final four, I think definitely the favorite is, I think, Caleb Marinelli, because we are the Be Ready Sports podcast, and he looks like an athlete, going to school. So, and plus he got that nice Nike backpack. So, yeah, he's definitely the favorite. But you never know. You never know with these fan bases.
Well, mine, I have to give mine. Well, it's tough because all four of these dudes, you know. Well, the one that I wanted was Cam, but he didn't make it into the final four based on the votes.
Hmm.
Because Cam's fit was, in my opinion, the best out of the bunch.
Okay.
Cam, but just off the fit alone, I have to go with my man Swaggy J because my man stays swaggy.
Okay.
I got to go with my man Swaggy J. But we non-biased. It's up to the audience. You know who's gonna take it home. Because if we pick the winner, it would have been
Bias.
biased, and then well, but that's not what we all about. We non-biased right here,
Y-
and
yeah,
we
we live
stay.
in yeah we live in a country of democracy. So people votes. So
And all right, so let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah, I know this weekend is football, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. This is gonna be a football episode today. We're gonna talk football. We'll talk basketball tomorrow when we have our Sunday guest on to wrap up the weekend. So first thing that I want to highlight here, and I really want to get Carlos's opinion on this, is which decade of quarterbacks is the best? You know, we have the 90s, you have the 2000s, you have the 2010s, and then you have the current quarterback class. In the 90s, here on this post, I highlighted Brent Favre, John Elway, Steve Young, Troy Aikman. But we still had a lot more elite quarterbacks in the 90s. Um, it's kind of, I want to say they got a leg up on everyone else because, their careers are all over. And we already know um, a lot of them are already in the Hall of Fame. And we have Super Bowl champions. So it's kind of easy. It's kind of easier to digress the '90s because we already know what they did.
yeah,
And then you got 2000s, which is led by quarterback that majority of the football world calls the GOAT, the greatest quarterback to ever play, Tom Brady. I think it's mainly because the 7 rings. Then you have Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and I don't know. They put Big Ben on here, but there's some you could you for the fourth one they highlighted here. You could have put a lot of more options from the 2000s, but those were the top four in the 2000s according to this post. You got the 2010s. You got Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, um, and then the current Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. So elite crop of quarterbacks. But let's start with you, Carlos. Let's get your opinion. Out of these 4 decades, which decade do you think is better?
Hmm. Better. Hmm. I'll probably go with the 2000s because Brady has won a Super Bowl. Obviously, we all know that. Drew Brees, I believe he's won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees, uh, has Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl? I believe he has, right?
Yeah, Peyton
Manning,
Manning, he's won one.
and then
And with Indy, and then he won another one with Denver. So he got
yeah,
two.
yeah, and I think I remember that Super Bowl 50 or something like that against
Yeah,
the
they beat the
Panthers,
yeah they trying to remember who they beat they beat Cam Newton and the Panthers.
Carolina, and then you got Big Ben, who has he won a Super Bowl yet? Big Ben?
He won a few with Pittsburgh,
Yeah, so he's definitely like the face of Pittsburgh.
and then he won
My
his first one against the Seahawks in Detroit with
mm,
Jerome Bettis' last game.
oh, Jerome Bettis, that's a great name right there in the world of football, Jerome Bettis. Yeah, my vote's for the 2000s. My vote's for the 2000s. Obviously there are great quarterbacks on this list. Obviously it's not a huge gap of where's behind of which one's second, third, or fourth, but I'll go with the 2000s.
Yeah, it's hard to compare them to the 2020s because this decade is only half over, and Patrick Mahomes has already won three Super Bowls in the
Yeah,
2020s.
yeah,
Joe Burrow's already made the Super Bowl. Um,
yeah,
just Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are yet to appear, but their teams are top of the AFC. But you see a trend here. There's a lot of AFC quarterbacks on this post.
yeah. The
You know,
2020s is all AFC. Yeah, all AFC. And then Andrew Luck with the Colts, probably the only one in the 2010s, and then 2000s you got New England, you got Indy, you got Pittsburgh, and then for the 90s you got Denver, and that's it for the
that's
90s.
it. So yeah, there's a lot more in AFC. Do you think the AFC is a better conference
Oh.
overall?
Overall, hey, um, you know, it's not like the NBA where it's like we all know the Western Conference is
Oh,
a better
yeah.
conference, which we all know, but both conferences have a balance of competition. Like unlike the NBA, obviously, the NFC and the AFC, they have their great teams. So it's balanced in my opinion for NFC and the AFC.
Okay, so Carlos thinks the football world is balanced.
Yeah.
Um, I should be favored to the NFC because my team is in the NFC. You know, so Carlos got me saying so I should be balanced. I should be more leaning toward the NFC, but well, as of recently, yeah, the AFC is has been dominating recent as of recently.
Yeah.
So I think the last NFC team won was, of course, an AFC quarterback, Tom Brady, with Tampa,
Yeah. Well,
and then before him, the last NFC team that won
the
was
last NFC team was the Eagles.
oh the Eagles before him too because they beat
No,
him.
no, the Eagles they beat the Chiefs. Remember that.
That don't count.
That doesn't count.
No,
Why?
that don't count. That don't count.
And the Eagles looked impressive.
Nah, they did dog walk them.
But historically, yeah, that was the last NFC team to win the Super Bowl historically.
So so it's kind of hard because, like I said, the '90s is already their careers is already solidified, done. Well, the 2000s too, but phew, a lot of people. It just I guess it just depends how old you are.
Yeah.
But here at the Be Ready Sports Podcast, we got to be non-biased. So we got to go with the two. We got to go with the 2000s because they. I, I would tell you, and I'm gonna tell you why. Just this is on this reason alone. The the NFL had purposely scheduled every year, and it was week 9 where Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, regardless of what teams they were on, throughout their whole careers, matched up with each other, and it was always a primetime game, just for the quarterback matchup, not for the team, just for the quarterback matchup.
Yeah.
You've never seen that in any other decade. Where the NFL made sure that they scheduled I'll say their best two quarterbacks, active quarterbacks at the time, to play each other every year. They never did that. You had to wait until that team, if they weren't on your division, you had to wait 4 years when they were on your non-conference schedule. But they made it out of their way to make sure them two played each other. So I guess we both agree the 2000s, I guess, is the best quarterback crop. But we'll love to hear our audience's opinion on this. So uh, I don't think we got that many in the in the comment section right now, but we'd love to hear our audience's opinion on this. So, Carlos, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's talk about. I think you made a post yesterday of the week of this week's top 25. You made a post yesterday about this week's top 25. So
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yes. So this is the
Yes.
top 25 coming into this week. This is the top 25 coming into this week. Yeah, so that's the top 25. Obviously the new teams in the rankings are obviously Coach Tony's team, USC. They're
Here
new
you go, Glazer my Trojans.
they're newly ranked.
I'm just
Um Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had a big win against Clemson. They got in there. And then Vanderbilt, big win against South Carolina. They're also newly ranked. So yeah, man. So that's those are the three teams newly ranked, and we'll find out after tonight's games. See if they'll stay ranked. We'll see.
well. The only thing I'm pissed off about is how are we the only ranked team behind an 0-2 team?
Well, Notre Dame, they were
That's
number
disrespectful.
6. Well, Notre Dame was number 6 when they took on Miami.
That's disrespectful.
They lost to Miami. Then they were number 8. Then we all know what happened. They lost to Texas A&M, who, as you can see right now, they're top 10. They're a top 10 team, and they dropped all the way down to 24 and ahead of your Trojans. So
Well, only way we can show the world that we shouldn't be behind them is if we beat them on October 18th.
yeah, and also Notre Dame won today. They beat Purdue, so they'll stay ranked. So
We beat Purdue too.
yes, yes, you guys did. You guys did beat Purdue.
Yeah, we beat Purdue too. So we'll see if they're going to. If we handle our business with Michigan State, I believe we're playing Michigan State right now. Oh no, I think it's later because it's in
Yeah,
Southern California.
yeah, the
So
game.
it's going to be a late game for the East Coasters. So I see that's why it's hard for me to watch them because it's not going to come on to about 10 o'clock tonight
It's gonna
on
come on at 11,
on the East Coast time. Man, that's crazy.
11 p.m.
And that's why it's hard to watch the. That's why the East Coast don't know too much about the West Coast teams because they come on so late out here. Unless you a diehard, people don't stay up.
Then it's worse for people who are fans of Hawaii in the mainland because they play at midnight. Tony, Hawaii, they
Oh
play
yeah,
at 11.
they got
They play
a
at 11:59 p.m.
yeah, their times. I think they're what 4 or 5 hours behind East
Some,
Coast time.
something like that. But they play
Uh,
at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So I feel bad for
but
any Hawaiian fans.
but Hawaii gets to see everything.
Yeah, they can. They get to watch everything and then focus on their game. But poor them because I don't know who's watching that game. To be honest with you, at 11:59 p.m. at night.
So what would you rather have, Carlos?
Yeah.
Would you rather be able to watch football from 7 a.m. in the morning all the way until let's say 6:30 p.m.? These are just the tip offs, or 12 noon to midnight? Or would you rather have?
Well, my day starts on Saturdays at 9 a.m. You know, because college game day. That's when my day starts, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then after that, after college game day, boom, I get into my college football Saturday. So my day is from 9 a.m. till probably, when does the primetime games end? Like 10, 11 p.m. So
Yeah.
that's my day. So um I don't know who's gonna play at a 7 a.m. game, Tony, but hypothetical. I would go with probably noon because I'm not gonna wake up for a 7 a.m. game, to be honest with you.
See, Carlos didn't get it. Um, that's what time the football games start in Hawaii, 7 a.m. in the
Oh,
morning.
really?
Yeah,
S-
there because our 12 noon games on this is just college football Saturday.
Yes.
12 noon games start in Hawaii, 7 a.m. their time.
So poor
So
people in Hawaii, that the college game day starts at 9, so that means it starts at 4 a.m. their time. So poor them.
yeah, they
Poor
didn't,
them. They can't watch college game day.
not live unless
But
they unless they unless they
record,
will do a what do you call that, tape delay for them.
record, DVR.
No, I'm talking about live tape delay. They well, you weren't born in the 90s, and
Nope.
back then that's what they used to do.
Ah,
Like, and they'll show games on tape delay
yeah.
where technically it's not live, not live, but they show it on tape delay on the West Coast.
Ah.
I don't know if they still do that anymore.
Nah. I think nowadays they have DVRs where you just hit the record button and it records the whole show, and then it's in your archive and you can watch it whenever. So that's the newer days.
And on this live streaming, you can live stream and watch it whenever you want now.
Yeah.
So that's what we are going to.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the to the games that have ended so far today, Carlos.
Yes.
You go ahead and quarterback this one. Ah, you like what I did there?
Yes, I know. That's very smart. Okay.
Go ahead and quarterback this one.
So we're gonna start with the noon games. The noon games. First game today, Syracuse. How about the orange of Syracuse? I talked about this with our previous guest last night with oh my gosh, I'm about to be
You forgot
canceled.
who we interviewed last night, JoJo.
Jojo. It's because of these college football games, man. These college football games, my mind's college football on Saturdays. Like I'm not worried about guests and stuff, but
Don't say that live.
Okay, so Jojo. So yeah, I was talking with him, saying like if Clemson loses, there's a lot of pressure with Clemson because if they lose, they're gonna go 1-3. And what we saw here, Syracuse, they got off to a fast start. Like when I saw the game, when I first saw the score, it was 24-7 Syracuse. So that was pretty shocking. And Clemson ended up fighting their way back, but obviously Syracuse, got the win. Their starting quarterback ended up getting hurt. I believe he tore his Achilles, so he probably might be out for the season. So their backup quarterback played, but the backup quarterback, he held his ground and helped Syracuse to a win. So Clemson, they are 1-3. They're 1-3. That is their worst start since 2004. Since 2004. So it's been about 21 years since Dabo and Clemson went 1-3. So Tony, so what are your thoughts on Clemson going 1-3?
That's not looking good for them. You can pretty much call the playoff out the window. So now they just got to fight to at least get a bowl game, which is which for their standards is terrible, is not good.
Terrible. Yes.
So and it's not helping teams that scheduled them for their strength of schedule. Because in the offseason, they were like, okay, we're trying to make the playoff. Let's play we got Clemson. I know that's going to be they're going to be ranked. they're going to be a top 10, a top opponent. Let's go in there. And then now they're just having a floundering season. So if the trend continues, you beat Clemson, it's not going to help you with the playoff votes. I know they still have the playoff votes. I wish they just, you know, I wish they could find a system that'll be better than the voting committee. But
Well, they do have
it's
12 teams, Tony. So I'm just telling.
it's 12 teams, but with 3 losses already, they have to win out, and they still have Florida State. They still have to go through the ACC. They'll have to win their conference to even get a shot at the playoffs at this point. And I feel like that's going to be a long shot because they'll have to beat the Hurricanes. They'll have to beat Florida State. Yeah, and those two teams right now, the way Florida State and the Hurricanes are performing right now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Clemson. The Clemson fortunately does not have Miami on their schedule. They do have coming
No,
up
I'm saying
next.
they have for the conference championship. If they're going to make the playoff, they have to win the conference championship in the ACC. So they're going to have to either go the way it's looking right now. The best two teams in the ACC is Florida State and Miami. They'll have to go through either one of those teams and
Yeah,
they'll have to win. They have to win that conference championship to even have a shot at the playoff.
yeah, yeah, definitely. They're 1-3. Basically the only hope they have is by winning out. They do have Florida State, who's a ranked team. So if they do win out, that involves a ranked win, a top 10 ranked win. So I don't want to say
Let's
if because I'm a Noel, so obviously we obviously want to beat Clemson, obviously. So yeah, man. So Clemson, they're going through rough times right now. They're going through rough times. It doesn't look like a college football playoff for Clemson this year, but they have a bye week coming up next week, so they have a bye week. They'll have a chance to relax, chill, get the loss behind them, start fresh, and then next week and the following week on October 4th, they got to travel to Chapel Hill, take on North Carolina, a team who did not look good today as they took on UCF and just got pummeled. They lost 34-9 to UCF over there in Central Florida. So once again, Chapel Bill, it's not looking good. You played two Big 12 opponents and you basically got blown out by both of them. So yeah, man. So Tony, so what are your thoughts on North Carolina getting blown out to UCF today?
um, before we move on to North Carolina,
Yeah.
let's put this out here on this graphic here
Ah,
of the remaining schedule for Clemson.
yes.
So they will, like I said, they will have to win out. They have like Carlos said, they have a bye week, and then they play North Carolina, and then they go on the road to Boston College, and then you have SMU, who's not looking good right now. Because we'll talk about SMU in a minute.
Yes.
They laid an egg today. Um, they have Duke. Should be a winnable game for them.
Yeah.
But the big matchup right there, November 8th, at home against Florida State, who's currently ranked 7. And then after Florida State, they still have 2 tough games. Louisville is not going to be a pushover. And they're going and both of those games are on the road. You got Louisville and South Carolina on the road. So those are not going to be pushover games for them. Those are going to be very, very tough outings for Clemson. And they fought with Clemson even when Trevor Lawrence was there. So even when Clemson was at its peak. South Carolina always is a tough out, and Louisville always fought them tough. So, the reason why I put this up is because we both know they have to win out, and then they have to win the ACC championship. So, with the schedule up on the board, Carlos, what do you realistically believe they? How do you realistically feel that they'll finish?
Okay, so right now they're currently 1-3. That's what they're currently stand right now. They
Hmm.
got they got North Carolina on the road. I got Clemson winning that, so they're gonna go 2-3 because I feel like it's gonna be a home game a little bit for Clemson because they got to travel just one state up north to North Carolina. So and Clemson fans they can travel. I remember last time these two played, Clemson a lot of Clemson fans were there at Chapel Hill, so Clemson they'll definitely get that win. SMU, a team that's reeling. Once again, we'll talk about them in a little bit. They got them at home, but it's gonna be a close game. Oh wait, Boston College. Apologies, Boston College.
He just skipped
And it's
over Boston College.
yeah, yeah, and I skipped over. It's this weird Google schedule. Um, Boston College. Boston College. That's a team. Not really much known. But I got Clemson winning that. So just like that, Tony, they're 3-3, just like that. So look at that momentum. That's momentum right there. And then you got SMU, a team that's reeling right now. We're gonna talk about them in a little bit once again. We always bring up SMU. But yeah, man, they're gonna come into this SMU game 3-3, and they're at home. Give me Clemson. So they're gonna go 4-3 before they gotta play Duke. Duke, they played today. They played let's see who they played. They played NC State and they won. They won actually. Duke was actually down in this game against NC State, but they came back and beat the Wolfpack. So probably just for right now, I'm gonna go Duke for right now. Yeah, I think Duke is gonna beat Clemson. I think the Knowles are gonna be Clemson, so they're gonna go 4-5. Um, They're not gonna be Louisville at Louisville. Is at Louisville? Nah,
Mhm.
not my watch. So that leaves them Tony at 4-6. So that means they have to win two straight to get to a bowl game. They got Furman. Good news, they'll win. So 5-6, and then now you got to take on South Carolina in a game where you have to win for your season to continue. Do I believe they'll win? No, I don't think they're gonna win. So
Oh,
uh,
oh, so Carlos has them missing the bowl game.
yeah, they're gonna go 5-7.
And how long do you think Dabo is gonna is it will be there if they on that trajectory that you predicted?
He'll probably be there, because he's a great coach. Like he's a great coach. He's a great coach. He like like if you know college football, you like obviously Dabo Swinney. He's one of the great head coaches in college football. So obviously obviously if it's one bad season, Clemson's not gonna kick him out right away. Like obviously he goes 5-7. Obviously bad season. We move on to the next season and just I don't know recruit. So I got
Yeah,
that.
you gotta recruit. All right, so keeping on. Let's keep on pushing about their early games I have finished so far. Um, Go ahead, quarterback.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we got a game that happened Arkansas Memphis. This was not a part of my slate today. This was on ABC. This was a nationally televised game on ABC. I kind of had my peripheral on this game. It wasn't a straight eye game for me. It was in my peripheral. Like Arkansas got to go on the road, take on a Memphis team who's tough at home. Some people say that they may represent the group of five. They're undefeated, so they're obviously coming in game with this momentum. And as you can see here, this game was a very good game. Arkansas had a chance to score, but they fumbled. But they fumbled at the end, and Memphis recovered, and then they ended up winning the game. And as you can see there, they won the game, and and still undefeated. The Tigers of Memphis upset Arkansas. They're now 2-2, and Memphis with a Power Four win against an SEC team. You know, that gives them a huge resume booster to represent the group of five um, over there for the college football playoff. Now we're talking about teams like Memphis, a team like South Florida, you know, teams like that. So, Tony, so what are your thoughts on this win? Memphis getting the W at home.
They should move up into the top 25, um, being 4-0. They should move up. Um, you got you got to beat who's on your schedule. That's what I always say. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta beat who's on your schedule, and that is impressive that they're still undefeated. Let's hope it continues. So it's the wrong one here.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah. So,
we got Memphis Tigers.
yeah, Memphis, they're a really good group of five team. We saw them last year, obviously. They did very well, obviously. They beat the Seminoles, obviously, in Tallahassee. And, it was a bad loss for us, but, a great win for them. Obviously, they didn't get to play in the college football playoff. It ended up being Liberty, right? Liberty, I think, who represented the group of five. I believe it was Liberty, but someone can fact check me on that. Or I don't know who it was last year that represented the group of five, but yeah, it was not Memphis. That was for sure. It wasn't Memphis, but yeah, man. But can Memphis represent the group of five this year? They do have some teams in the way. Like for example, they have Navy in the way that's undefeated. UNT was 4-0. South Florida, we obviously all know, going to be Tulane. A lot of great teams over there in the American Conference. So
So we'll see. Like I said, they're undefeated right now. Uh, Here is Memphis's remaining schedule. So they're 4-0 right now. They have Florida Atlantic coming up next weekend. Then they have a matchup with Tulsa, and we'll talk about Tulsa. They had a big win today. Then they have UAB, South Florida, Rice, Tulane, ECU, and then another tough game against Navy, the midshipmen, who almost came close last year in jumping into that college football playoff last year. Navy.
yeah.
Um, so and they had I think what helped them last year was that huge win they had against Notre Dame last year. So this is Memphis's remaining schedule. So how long do you think they can, based on that schedule, do you think they can continue to be where they undefeated, where they receive their first loss? I think that I think if they get past Tulsa, if they can get past Tulsa, who had a huge win, um, they may have a chance to win out, but it win out or drop the ball in the last game with Navy. What do you think, Carlos?
Memphis, they're a tough team. Obviously it's a full season. Obviously we got to go through a full season, and obviously, it's a full season. Obviously, players are going to get hurt, players are going to get injured. There's going to be some games where players are going to play sore. So obviously, you're not going to get Memphis best shot every game, but you're going to get close to it. So their next game is against Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic, a team that's, not the best right now. Their only win was, I believe, to FIU. Their only win to FIU, so they'll probably get through Florida Atlantic. It's in Boca, so they'll probably beat them. Tulsa once again. We'll talk about them in a little bit. As they beat Oklahoma State. We'll talk about them and soon later on. Um, But that game against UAB on the road, that's pretty tricky for Memphis because UAB, they're a sneaky team that can probably upset a team like Memphis. And then after that, you got South Florida, a team that looked uh, impressive to start the season. Like, let's not forget, they beat Florida on the road in the swamp, and then they beat Boise State to start off the year. And speaking about the group of five, from the last segment, it was Boise State. Nobody from the American Conference. It was Boise State who made the
Yeah,
college
Boise
football
State.
playoff.
That is true. Yeah.
We all know who played on that team. He goes by the name of Ashton Genty. So yeah, so Boise State was the group of five team in the playoff last year. But yeah, man, you know, they have a rough finish. It starts off with UAB, in my opinion. I think it's going to start off with UAB. You got to go UAB on the road. Then you have South Florida at home. Then you have a team like Rice. We talked about Rice during JoJo's episode, how they're 3-1 and they beat Charlotte. They beat Charlotte, the 49ers of Charlotte, and they're 3-1 and they're at home on Friday night. So, and then you got Tulane. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. Is it on here? No, it's not. So Tulane, they got a big win. They lost today to Ole Miss. They lost to Ole Miss, so they're no longer undefeated. Um, but yeah, man. So Memphis got a pretty rough finish, but I think it's gonna start. That rough stretch is gonna start against UAB.
Mm. It says UAB. Uh, like these are all conference games, so these opponents they're pretty familiar with each other. Uh,
Yeah.
that Tulsa game is not gonna be easy either.
No.
Then, but they're at home. They have their crowd, so the home field advantage does play a factor. Will they remain undefeated? I don't think so.
And they're not probably gonna win out, but they're probably get one or two losses, but they just gotta hope.
Yeah,
But
I think they're going to finish strong, but they will have to um, not let not have bad losses.
yeah, like obviously it's very hard for a group of five team, to get recognized. So, and as of right now, according to the rankings, let's bring the rankings back on. As you can see, according to the rankings, I'm looking here and there's no group of five team on it. So it's probably gonna change as we get later on in the season. But as of right now, it's a toss up to see who makes the college football playoff from the group of five. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
Could it be Memphis?
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not easy for them, but it can happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's get into the next one.
Oh, this game. Yeah, man. So this game occurred at noon. This was my noon game on my CFB slate. Texas Tech and Utah tops the 17 number 17 team. Texas Tech taking on number 16 Utah. Both teams undefeated going into this game. Utah, had a very impressive week one that caught my eye against UCLA. They looked really impressive against UCLA. That really caught my eye. And, Coach Kyle Whittingham, he's leading a great squad over in Utah. They have a very great defense. They got a great offense. Texas Tech, we heard a lot of hype about them, about their transfers, spending the most money this year on transfers. So we heard a lot of hype about them. So I really wanted to see what the hype was about. So, and obviously, as you can see there, Texas Tech just outplayed Utah. This game was at 10-3 at one point, but then
Mm.
at the end, it was just Texas Tech, their offense. They generated some offense, and they got it going. Their starting quarterback once again got hurt. So the backup came in, and he did pretty good for Texas Tech. He did pretty good and led them to victory today. Um, uh, Will Hammond, that's the quarterback from the backup for Texas Tech. Will Hammond, he did really well. Um, he stepped in the third quarter for Texas Tech and led them to victory today for the Red Raiders. So Tony, so
Red Raiders.
so
You know how I feel about the name Raiders.
yeah, I know. So Tony, so what are your thoughts on Texas Tech getting a victory, a statement win today over there in Salt Lake City, Utah?
Um, Anytime you win on the road, it's impressive because it's not easy on the road, especially when you're going that far because your fan base is not traveling with you that far, not all the time, unless you're a Notre Dame or a Florida State or one of the top one of the top programs like a but it's not like a Oklahoma Texas matchup where it's a mutual even though it's a mutual stadium where the fans travel. I don't think not too many of the Texas Tech Red Raiders fans traveled there, but it's good to see them. Get good to see them bouncing back up. It's great statement win, won by 24 points. It's multiple touchdowns. That's a statement. That's showing that we are for real, and they're 4-0.
Yeah,
So
tech, yeah,
so they have a shot, to make some noise and push themselves in the college football playoff. Now let's see. Do you have their? Let's see. Let's pull up their. I know they're like it's a trend here. Every team we talk about, you're pulling up the remaining schedule. So it's going to give me a second here. Like I said, we weren't prepared to do a solo episode.
but yeah, man, Texas Tech, they won by 24 points, statement win. Some people say that should they be top 10? They went on the road into a hostile environment, beat a Utah team who's impressive. That's number 16. So I guess we'll see tomorrow when the rankings come out. Is Texas Tech going to be a top 10 team in the country? We'll find out. This is their most impressive win by far this season because they haven't really played anybody. They play Arkansas Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon
Yeah,
State. Three bad teams. And then you got, they beat Utah. So, yeah,
yeah,
man. So,
yeah. Utah, it has been their biggest win so far this season. Um, let's pull up their the remaining schedule, which you'll see, Carlos. It's not that impressive. So
yeah, so we'll.
it's
Mhm.
going to be very difficult. But before I give I want you to see the schedule first before I give my 2 cents, so that we can speak on it together.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Texas
Um,
Tech led by head coach Joey McGuire. He's done a really good job. Coach Prime always, talks highly of Joey McGuire. Okay, so we got the schedule. Let's bring it up.
yeah.
All right.
So as you see, it's not it's not that impressive as the remaining opponents. They got Houston next on the road. I I think Texas Tech will roll through that one. You got Kansas, but Kansas is not no pushover either. They've been playing good football this year. You
Yeah.
got Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, BYU, UCF, and then West Virginia. So only reason why I say it doesn't stand out because they don't have a lot of of top 25 opponents left. There's not one ranked not one ranked opponent left on their schedule.
Okay.
So they have a strong case to make the playoff, but they have to win in convincing fashion like they did today. For them to, but will that schedule get them in the top 10? It's going to be very difficult. They'll have to have dominant wins, which I know the old cliche is a win's a win, but
Yeah.
you know how college football they want those, as they say, sexy wins.
Yeah.
So what is your thoughts as seeing Texas Tech's remaining schedule? Based on your question, you think they should, because your question was, do you feel like they should be a top 10, um, be in the top 10? It's going to be very difficult because of the remaining schedule. Like I said, they have to my opinion, they'll have to dominate and have
Yes.
statement wins like they did today.
Yeah. So the reason why I said they should they may be in the top 10 because of their win today, because they beat the number 16 team in the country in Utah, who I believe they're not the highest ranked Big 12 team. That's Iowa State at number 12. But you know, statement win. This obviously some people can make a case that they're top 10 right now because of that impressive win. But if you look at the remaining schedule, well, on paper, as you can see here, it may not look impressive, but if you actually look in depth, they're going to play some teams that are going to give them some struggles. Probably get upsetted, you know. And it starts in 2 weeks. Texas Tech, they're going to have a bye week, and then they're going to take on Houston on the road. And remember, Tony, Houston played Colorado and beat Colorado. They beat Colorado by 16 points. So that's Houston's impressive win against Colorado. But once again, Colorado, they they didn't play Caden Salter. They played Ryan Staub, who looked impressive against Delaware, but unfortunately did not bring that same energy during the Houston game. And Coach Prime basically blamed his defense for not playing well and called them garbage. So Houston definitely playing good, played good against Colorado. Can they do the same against Texas Tech? We will see. Kansas, they're not how do you call it? They're not scrubs either. They're not scrubs. They're a really good team. Their one loss was against Missouri on the road in a rivalry game. So they'll probably give Texas Tech some troubles. And Arizona State. So uh, let's not forget about Arizona State now. Remember, the Sun Devils were ranked. Like they were ranked up high until they lost to Mississippi State and got them to unranked. So Sam Levitt, who is one of the best players in college football, you know, Kenny Dillingham, head coach over at Arizona State. Texas Tech got to go to Arizona State over there in Tempe. It's gonna be a tricky game for Texas Tech. I don't think Texas Tech is gonna roll over them. But the game the week after that against Oklahoma State, yes, they will. They're gonna roll over Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is spiraling out of control right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I remember when Oklahoma State was good when Spencer Sanders was there. Spencer Sanders, the quarterback, he's no longer there, and Oklahoma State, they're just spiraling out of control. This probably might be Mike Gundy's last year, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about Oklahoma State and later on. Kansas State, I think, has been a real disappointment this year. They're 1-3. A lot like including me. Like I thought Kansas State was going to make the Big 12 championship game this year because of how impressive they looked last season. But ever since that loss in Ireland against Iowa State, they went 0-1. Then they played North Dakota, an FCS team. Did not look impressive at all. They only beat them by 3 points against North Dakota. Then they played
Mm.
a team that lost to an FCS team in Tarleton State. They lost to Army. They lost to Army at home, so they're 1-2, and then they lose to Arizona on the road. So Kansas State not looking good, but it could be any time where Kansas State can just rise from the dead and pull off a big upset. So Texas Tech, so they shouldn't look over Kansas State as well. BYU's undefeated right now. They're 2-0. They're looking pretty good. BYU, I think they'll keep it competitive.
Yeah,
You,
BYU is gonna be tough for them too.
yeah, for sure. UCF, obviously, we all know what happened today. They beat North Carolina in great fashion. They're 3-0. They're impressive. Um, can they stay undefeated? Probably not. But they got to go on the road to Texas Tech, and then the last game against West Virginia. West Virginia, their team that's up down, like up down, just like the hills over there in West Virginia. They beat Robert Morris in the first game. They lose to Ohio, a team from the group of five, and then they beat Pitt in a backyard brawl. So 1 week they're down, 1 week they're up. It's like the hills of West Virginia. So we don't know what we're gonna see out of West Virginia. Oh, speaking about West Virginia, they're actually playing right now against Kansas, and
Oh, Carlos, I don't mean to stop you. We college football done brought the king of the chat on here. Let's bring on Steve.
they're
What's good, Steve?
What up, fellas?
Steve, what's up, man?
What's
Not
up?
much.
You
Happy to be
told me.
here. I got your message, Coach.
Yeah,
I wanted to hop on for a little bit.
you told me anytime we talking football to let you know.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Before we get started, I don't know if I don't think you got a chance to check out the beginning. Today is the last episode that Carlos will be a minor.
Oh, snap. You got a birthday coming up.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're about to be 18?
Yes.
Oh, snap, bro. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you got an early birthday gift with that Castellanos, bro. He's balling.
He is, he
Florida
got a
State.
little bit scared a little bit of Tommy Castellanos because he did get a little injured in that game against Kent State, but he ran right back on, and he should be okay.
All right. Well, that's good if he's all right and healthy, because I'll be honest. When you guys did the like the college football show preseason,
Yeah.
and you guys brought me on, we were talking a little bit about Florida State.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, dude, looking at their schedule now and how they're kind of moving, they look like a 10-11 win team possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to gaslight you, bro. I've gotten to argue with my buddy who's sitting right here with me. We watch college football every weekend together. And we usually hate on Florida State because our best friend is a Florida State fan, but he's not a realistic one. Every year, whoever's quarterback for Florida State is the Heisman favorite, and Florida State's always going to win a national championship. He's like one of those Delulu type of people. But in all seriousness, watching Florida State, the couple games I have, especially the Alabama game, dude, they look good. Like Castellanos looks like a dude.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, Clemson stinks. Miami looks good. SMU stinks.
Yeah, SMU. I don't know.
So it's like in that conference, do I not think Florida State could win 10, 11, 12 games and get into the playoffs? I certainly think they can.
Yeah.
Well, the king of the chat, we just got through talking about Clemson, and
they're booty.
And we pulled up their remaining schedule. I'll pull it back up, and we were talking about if they will will they even be able to make a bowl game based on their remaining schedule. Carlos doesn't think so. I think they can squeeze out, if they get it together, they can probably squeeze out 6 wins with the remaining schedule, but it would not be easy.
Let me think. They're 1-3 right now, right?
Right.
So they got Carolina, and honestly, Carolina's not that good. So I think they could beat Carolina. SMU, that's a question. I don't know, because I don't know how good SMU is either. They really have not. Jennings does not look the same, and their defense stinks. So that's like a 50-50. They'll lose to Florida State. Hopefully they beat Furman, even though they struggled with Troy. So I would assume they'll win that. So
I didn't even think about
1, 2 for sure wins, I think. Boston College, I have no idea. Duke will be tough. Duke can score, because I don't know, man. At Louisville and at South Carolina, they're going to probably win them maybe 6, 7 games. They could possibly get 8. I don't know. But from what we've seen so far, dude, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make a bowl game. I wouldn't be shocked.
So, Steve, you're saying that they're only going to lose 1 game out of this remaining schedule?
No. That's not what I'm saying. They're definitely going to lose to Florida State. They're probably going to lose to South Carolina. At Louisville, even Duke at home is going to be tough, because Duke's not bad. Like, for what we're seeing Clemson playing, the level of that Clemson's playing, I think Duke could beat them. I'm not sure what Boston College has this year. Boston College, I watched them play Michigan State, and they put up a lot of points, but their defense stinks. I don't know, man. I think they can. I think they'll beat Carolina. They'll beat Furman. They'll probably. Those are the only for sure wins I see on the schedule. Everything else, I have no idea. Given what we've seen, I have no idea. So they very they might not make a bowl game. It's crazy to think they were preseason top 5 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between them and Notre Dame, now I think Notre Dame's better than Clemson. I mean, they've played 2 ranked games and lost by a combined of 4 points, but still, starting off 0-2 is not good. But for teams being preseason ranked top 10 that we're really watching and we can see, obviously they're not top 10 teams. One is Clemson, the other one would be Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame's not winless anymore.
It's Purdue, bro. I mean, can I be honest? I watched the game. I left for Mass, came back. They were on a weather delay, so I had it recorded.
What's going on with Purdue?
And I watched it. Notre Dame's defense sucks. Our defense is bad. Like, they gave up 22 to Purdue in the first half. That's not good. Like, the offense looked great today, but it's against Purdue. So you can control the line of scrimmage against Purdue. Congratulations. We saw against Miami and Texas A&M, they really could not control the line of scrimmage. And I think Miami seems to be legit. I don't know how good Texas A&M is. I mean, they might be really good, but they might be a 4-loss SEC team as well. So, I mean, it's cool to win. I'm happy they beat Purdue, but at the same time, it's like, I ain't twerking because we beat Purdue. I still think our defense sucks. And like, let's say we're in a competitive game, like the next big game we have would be you guys, Coach. We play Southern Cal. I could see us losing. I could see y'all scoring 35 on us real easy.
We were talking about that because we were ranked behind you guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, the only way that we can move past Notre Dame is if we actually beat them in our head-to-head matchup on the 18th.
Well, you could move ahead of us if we screw up before then. Say we lose at Arkansas or lose another game somewhere in between. You guys could jump us that way. But in a head-to-head, yeah, if you guys beat us, you're definitely going to jump us. That would, let's just say hypothetically, we get to you guys and we still only have the 2 losses. Given 3 losses and a loss to you guys are jumping us for sure.
Yeah, but it all depends on what happens tonight with us and Michigan State.
Y'all play well. You're West Coast. For me, that's an 11:00 game. They start at 11:00 where I'm at.
No, I'm not going to see it. It's going to be 11:00 for me too. I'm in Florida with. Oh, you see the hat?
Oh, snap!
I'm repping Bruce.
There you go.
I'm showing my love to Bruce. You know, actually, I'm going to check when we get off. I'm going to check out it there. He was on Man Down Sports yesterday with Tracy Murray.
Yeah, dude, I saw a little bit of it. I wasn't able to watch all of it. I watched a little bit. It was good. I was on for like 45 minutes. It was a good interview. It was cool.
Yeah, I want to check that out. You should check it out too, Carlos.
Yeah, okay. Carlos.
For sure.
Yeah. You're not a kid anymore, Carlos.
Yeah.
Bro, you're going to be a grown man now.
And you check out the Grown Man podcast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell
you can buy cigarettes and enlist in the Army now, bro.
He's not going to buy no cigarettes.
I'm just saying he could if he wanted, but don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah. Just say no.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our overall consensus with Texas Tech, Carlos? You and Steve, since you're on here.
This is why I said Beck sticks.
Okay.
I don't know how long Steve's gonna grace us with his appearance.
I got time for you guys. I'm always down to talk college football. I'm here watching. I got 4 games up on the TV now. So you guys are talking about the Texas Tech Utah game?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what started, and we put up the remaining schedule to see if they can win out or if they will get a loss soon. Okay, which one was it? I think it was the last one. This is Texas. Well, before I get into the remaining schedule, what are your thoughts on the game today? With them beating
Utah. Me? That was a good game up until halftime. Even going into the third quarter, like it was competitive. I think it was like 13-10 or like 10-3 for a lot of that time.
Yeah.
And then the second half, Texas Tech just got hot. They started putting up points. Can't remember what the final was, but I think they won by 3 scores?
Yeah.
2 or 3 scores?
You can put the score back up, Carlos.
Yeah, it was 34-10.
Oh, dude, they scored. Yeah. So I mean, Utah was ranked, but we don't really know how good Utah really is. It's so early, and it's kind of hard. Sorry, my buddy's here watching, screaming at the Miami game.
Are
But
you playing the Miami Florida game?
he's a big Miami fan, bro. We watched the week 1 together, and neither of us killed each other, so it was a win. But I don't know how good Utah is, and I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to talk to the Big 12 overall. I don't know what the Big 12 really has this year. I don't know if Arizona State's going to be the same Arizona State from last year. Obviously, not SMU. Who else was done? Colorado's not the same Colorado from last year. I don't know how good the Big 12 really is.
Is Arizona in there too?
Yeah. Arizona State was the team last year. Colorado was good last year for them. I was going to say this year, Iowa State, Texas Tech so far looks like to be a front runner. Right now you have Baylor and Arizona State. Baylor's quarterbacks put up big games. Arizona State hasn't looked exactly like they had last year. So I think Texas Tech has a chance based off the limited from what we've seen. Texas Tech seems like in that conference that nobody's really standing out that much. Texas Tech seems like they have as good a shot as anybody. I'd say them and Iowa State right now kind of look like the two best. I just think that conference is a little down. Like they're not the Big Ten. They're not the SEC. They're not at the top of like the ACC where I think right now Miami and Florida State look legit. I just don't see anybody in the Big 12 that is a big-time national threat, if that makes sense. So given that the conference overall isn't as elite, a team like Texas Tech could make some noise. You never know.
Well, let me ask you this, Steve. They said the same thing about the Pac-12 and they disbanded it. so and the Big 12 is not looking. They look worse than the Pac-12 did.
When the Pac-12 closed shop, they were Washington was going to a championship.
Oregon
was legit because they had Bo Nix still. They had Utah was good.
Yeah.
Don't forget Cal. Cal was
in. But Colorado just got Dion and Shador. So Colorado was making noise. I know I'm forgetting somebody that was good out.
Utah or BYU.
Yeah, Utah and BYU were tough.
They were
Washington
tough.
State had Cam Ward.
Yeah, Washington State was balling
so
too.
Like you had some depth, and it honestly seemed like the Pac-12 was like pretty competitive. And then they closed shop.
Yeah, Washington State made it to the Final Four when they had the four.
No.
The top four.
Now Wazoo didn't even make it.
You're thinking of Washington, Coach.
Yeah, probably
when they had Penix. Washington played Michigan in the championship and lost. Washington State was competitive, but they weren't that. Arizona was really good at that time too. Arizona was ranked that year, I remember.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah,
Arizona was tough because they had, was it McLaurin or that receiver? He just got drafted to Carolina. He was there. The Pac-12 was decent the last year. Actually, they were pretty good the last year because Oregon and Washington were both really good. And then you had a bunch of depth where teams that were making bowl games that were all 7-8 win teams, some 9-win teams. But I honestly think the Pac-12 was better that last year than what we see in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah,
that's what I was alluding to.
Yeah, and if the money and the contracts keep rolling this way and the SEC and the Big 10 still have this, I don't want to call power, but it seems like they're the two power conferences. I could see the Big 12 dissolving and those two power conferences absorbing more, picking more teams up. I mean, think about it, Coach. You got Southern Cal and UCLA flying to the East Coast and the Midwest. What's to say some teams down south won't do that too for the money if the money's right?
Yeah, but UCLA is getting their butts kicked.
Well, they were getting their butts kicked in the Pac-12 too. That's a basketball school. They're just They're just not.
But
I don't know. I saw they fired Foster.
Yeah, Foster. Yeah.
oh, I
Did
didn't
they
even
really
see.
hire Nico's dad
What?
as the coach? Did you see that, or was
What?
that just a meme?
Nah, it's a meme.
I thought they
didn't-
hired Nico, that kid that transferred from Tennessee.
Yeah, him.
Did they hire
No, I
his
think
dad or something?
no, I think his dad's still at Tennessee.
No,
I think he's still at Tennessee.
no way.
No, I don't think they hired his dad.
I wonder who the coach is now. I think maybe it was just a meme I saw on social media, but I saw him saying something about hiring Nico's dad or something. I was like, bro, come on. Because I heard Nico was stepping away from the team now.
Well, he's not having any success.
Homie don't want to play football, bro. He got the bag. He don't want to play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would you quit after one bag? Get another one.
Coach, if we were 18 and got that money thrown at us, would we be making good decisions? I know I wouldn't.
Carlos would.
Carlos is an upstanding young man.
Yeah.
Soon to be
you
a
give Carlos-
full-blown adult.
You give Carlos $5 million right now at 18, he gonna
Yeah, I'm
flip
taking
that
it.
to 20.
Hey,
gonna
Carlos,
flip that to 20.
Carlos going crypto, bro, man. Carlos will take that money, go right to Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
He'll make that 5
Bitcoin.
million 25.
Yeah.
Well, he learned from the best as far as investing.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart. Young people
Learn
invest
from
your money. Plan ahead, not for right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's keep it rolling because I do. Steve loves you two love college football, so let's get to the next game, Carlos.
All right. The next game was the Iron Skillet rivalry, SMU and TCU. TCU got the win today at Fort Worth. This is unfortunately the final scheduled rivalry of this matchup. Yeah, man. So there's no more matchups after this one as of right now. So TCU got the win over SMU, and TCU, I believe they're undefeated right now.
Mhm.
Obviously, we all saw what they did to Carolina in that game.
Mhm.
Very impressive. And now TCU, they're undefeated. So Steve, what are your thoughts on TCU? I feel like TCU, they might be a sleeper in the Big 12.
They definitely can be. Like when we were talking about Texas Tech, this is just another example of a team because there's no real front runner in that conference. TCU could get hot and make a run. We've seen it in the past. They've made a Final Four in the past. They kind of fell off after that championship run when they got boat raced by Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not like they're not in Texas. It's not like they can't recruit high-quality football players. So I think in that conference, given how weak it seems right now, a team like TCU could get hot and make some noise. For right now, like the Carolina win, it's a good for a week one thing, but I don't know if Carolina's really has a foundation yet. So I don't know how much credibility or how much credit we can give them for that win. But today, winning at home against SMU, I know I was kind of talking smack on SMU earlier where it seems like they're just not as good as they were last year, which seems to be the case. But that's a quality win for a team like TCU. You win by 11 at home against SMU. It's a rivalry game. That's a big win for them. For a team like TCU, a win like that could put them in the right trajectory in that conference. It gives them confidence. Hey, we won a rivalry game at home. We beat them by double digits. We're feeling good about ourselves. Who can really stop us in that conference? Sure, you have like an Iowa State or a Texas Tech that might come up on the schedule because I don't know their schedule offhand. But in that conference, they could make some noise.
Yeah, for sure. Their next game is against Arizona State on the road on Friday night. They got
That'll be tough.
Then they got Colorado at home.
They might boat race Colorado, bro.
Maybe, yeah. So
Colorado don't look good. I don't know. Brucey's in the chat. Sorry, Brucey, but
yeah, I remember when Brucey was hyping up Colorado, saying that they might win the Big 12.
I left Mass and came back. I had to call back in because he was twerking hard. He was saying they were going to be better. He was saying they were going to be better than last year, and I'm like, bro, y'all lost an NFL quarterback and the Heisman Trophy winner. How are y'all going to be better than last year? That's crazy work. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I remember that show.
I called in.
He legit came back
hard,
from Mass,
bro?
and I was like,
God.
I was like, this dude just came back from Mass, and y'all got him.
Bro, I
going
had to
in.
call. He was thrusting them hips, bro. He was twerking hard for Colorado. I was like, what is he talking? This is some mess he's talking right now.
Welcome to adulthood, Carlos.
Yeah, I know.
This is
Yeah,
how we talk.
yeah, I know. He's hyping up Colorado, but they're 1-2.
No,
Yeah.
he was twerking hard for them, bro.
He was. Dude, he really
It
said
was
they were
worse
going to
than
be
Miley.
better than last year.
Bro, he was worse than Miley Cyrus.
How do you
hard he
lose?
was
Listen, I don't know. Listen, I know Shador has a huge fan base. I think he was good in college, but how do you lose a quarterback like Shador and Travis Hunter and you're better than you were the year previous? Like, that didn't even make any sense to me.
twerking.
And I say this with love because Brucey's my guy, but
only if you had a strong, only if you had a strong recruiting, which they didn't.
which
Did not.
that's one thing. Dion, he can motivate guys. He's brought some stability there. He's got a lot of hype there, but that's the one thing I've noticed when you look at recruiting rankings. I think we were talking about that on that show earlier, even where to really build a culture, you have to do it in recruiting. You can fill in the gaps with the transfer portal and pick up pieces here and there, but to really build a culture, you have to do it in recruiting. You have to have your blue chip ratio. You have to have these 4-star kids that come in and learn for a year or two, and then they replenish. And then it becomes a culture. I just don't know if Dion's really – he seems to do the transfer portal thing, and he doesn't really recruit to the level where he's going to be able to, like, really sustain something. Because you have to think, when he came in initially, he brought in a lot of guys that were with him already, his 2 sons and Travis. And we could see how impactful Travis and Shador were to that team. Like, Shador threw the ball like 50 times a game, and Travis played like 150 snaps a game. And when you lose 2 guys like that, what do you have around those guys? I just don't know if it's going to be youth guys growing and fitting into the system versus let's just do mass transfer portal every year. It could work sometimes, but I don't think it's a long-term strategy that's going to be successful.
Yeah, for sure. Colorado, they're going through it right now. Let's just say that they're going through it right now. Yeah, so TCU, then they got to go on the road to Kansas State. Kansas State's been a real disappointment, Steve. They're 1-3. They've been a real disappointment. Like,
you ain't kidding, bro.
And I remember them from last year. They were pretty good, Kansas State. Pretty good with Avery Johnson. That squad, from last season they were pretty good. But then this season, you lose to Iowa State in Ireland. Then you play North Dakota and only beat them by 3 points. Then you lose to Army, who lost to Tarleton State, an FCS team. Then you lose to Arizona. So Kansas State been a disappointment.
Big time. And that quarterback was pretty good last year for them. Avery Johnson?
Avery Johnson, yeah.
Avery
Johnson.
Not Little Roach. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he don't. I mean, I think the kid's talented, but you can see, I just don't think he's not developing like we thought he would at the quarterback position. Man, you just a hater.
He stinks.
He does stink. I ain't gonna lie. My buddy's over here just crapping on him. He said, "Man, he stinks." But they do. They are a big disappointment based off what we thought they might be this year, based off last year.
Yeah, you talking about Carson Beck or are you talking about Florida?
No. He's talking about Avery Johnson. He hears us. He's sitting. He's right over here. He's watching the Florida-Miami game. But
I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was.
He was saying Carson Beck stinks earlier. You're going to hear a lot of shit talk from him. Everybody stinks. He's a glass half empty type of fan.
He say glass half empty.
Coming from you.
Listen, chill.
You and Ryan are the absolute worst.
We're realists. We'll say it. When Notre Dame stinks, we'll say we stink. And this year we stink.
Carson Beck stinks tonight.
Well, he beat us.
Well, he didn't stink that night.
Well, he stinks tonight. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to get Bruce on here. This show will switch from PG-13 to rated R.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll behave.
It's okay.
No, we're still PG-13. I said if we put Bruce
Oh,
on
I
here,
got you.
it'll turn to rated. It'll be rated R. He'll be cussing out Dion and everything.
Turn the Colorado rant.
Yeah, don't tell him that Carlos will be an adult. He'll be like, "Oh, the gloves are off. I ain't gotta censor myself. No kids on the show." You know,
God.
Bruce Brucey would just go to town. So,
Okay.
well, getting back to this game, I think we should not lose the traditional rivalries. I think the traditional rivalry should continue. That's the backbone of college football. You need those
Yeah.
rivalry weeks, you need those rivalry games. Um, all this change, maybe it get better down the road, but in the now, it takes it takes a little bit of the luster away.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to think college football. There's so much pageantry and tradition, and the big backbone, the staple of it is the rivalries, and it's regional, state to state rivalries, in-state rivalries, conference rivalries, and we're seeing conferences dissolve, conferences have realignment, and you're seeing because of these conference ties now, you don't have the out of conference games available to like fit in all these conference games plus the rivalries you want to keep.
yeah.
And it is a shame, but this is kind of what college football's turned to. It's money, so teams are willing to sell out in a sense for a quick buck. So I mean, it's just but then you could look at it this way. Someone could say, well, once you have new conferences and you're playing new teams, you could develop new rivalries, which is very possible. But I think that does take away from some of the pageantry and tradition where, sure, you can develop new rivalries, but it's like history's always been a big part of college football. So removing history or abolishing history, it takes away from some of the things we all grew up with. Some of those old Big 12 rivalries when Oklahoma and Texas A&M were all in Nebraska was all in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Now we see that all dissolve. So, I mean, yeah, you could develop new ones, but these new ones aren't going to matter because, when you got Cincinnati going down to Texas, what does Cincinnati and Texas have to make it a rival? They're not neighboring states. They're not close regionally. It's just another game on the schedule. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but that's what money does. And there's so much money in it now with these conferences and these TV contracts. This is kind of what it's going to be moving forward.
But let me ask you guys this.
Yes.
The only way to offset that is if these guys book the strong non-conference games. Like, but if you if you look at how Florida did that this year, they booked a strong schedule,
Oh yeah.
but they're laying them, but they haven't been up to par. Now, do you think because if Florida finishes with a subpar record or just 500, do you think that's going to deter teams away from scheduling those strong non-conference games, like it was in the past, or do you think it's the start uh, of teams starting to do that?
You know,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
yeah, and I think right now, like, and I feel like teams have already started that already. Like, for example, like Alabama, and I think Alabama, they canceled their non-conference series with West Virginia to like get play FCS teams because of how hard the SEC is. So teams like Alabama have canceled some non-conference schedules. I forgot who else, but yeah, but Alabama's a prime example right there of a
Shoot.
they're a prime example of somebody they cancel a non-conference series, for example, with the Mountaineers of West Virginia. So yeah, definitely.
It's tricky because I could see teams in the SEC doing something like that. Teams from like the Big 12, the ACC, I don't know if they would benefit from that. because what's going to end up happening is, yeah, Alabama can get away with something like that because they're going to play in the SEC. If they play Georgia and Tennessee and LSU and Ole Miss, Texas, you know what I mean? Like, they can compensate for not playing a tough out-of-conference schedule. Can Clemson get away with that? Can SMU get away with that? Can Miami and Florida State get away with that? I don't know. Let's see. Indiana. Because their conferences aren't going to have that type of schedule like the SEC will. Now, I'll say this. You can still afford to play a couple non-conference big games if you want, because we know one loss is not going to kill you. Like, you can get in with 1 to 2 losses in this 12-team format. So I don't know. For a conference like the SEC, they might feel like, hey, when we play Auburn and LSU and Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee in the same season, we don't need to play a West Virginia. We don't need to play a Penn State. We can get away just because our conference is so strong. But I think that they're like the exception to the rule. I don't know if like the ACC and the Big 12 can get away with it. I honestly don't even think the Big 10 can get away with it. The Big 10 right now, outside of Ohio State and Penn State, you could argue Michigan, but I don't think Michigan is the same now that Harbaugh's not there. I don't know how they're going to be moving forward. But they're kind of a 1 to 2 team conference traditionally. I mean, you could throw Oregon in there too. Oregon's been good. But the majority of the Big 10 is not that great. Your Rutgers, your Maryland. Now, I see Indiana and Illinois are both ranked this year pretty high, but I don't know. Like, history tells us those teams are not top 15 teams, if that makes sense.
Speaking about top 15, the Hoosiers of Indiana, they're playing like a top 15 team. They're blowing out Illinois 35-7 right now. They're blowing them out.
They're beating them pretty bad, which to me, this kind of shows is Illinois as good as everybody's been saying? Because I don't know. After what we saw Indiana last year, like, they won 10, 11 games, but when they played Ohio State, they got boat raced. When they played Notre Dame in the playoffs, they got boat raced. So it seems like they could beat up on the Marylands, in the Michigan States, and teams like that, which is great. But when you play the big dogs and you can't compete, that's where it's like, how good are you really?
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, so I'm looking at Indiana's schedule right now. They do play Oregon on October 11th on the road at Oregon. They got to go on the road to Penn State in November 8th. And yeah, that's probably it for Indiana in regards to big games like Oregon and Penn State for Indiana.
Wow, he just dropped a pick six. This game could be even worse. Indiana just dropped a pick six.
Oh, wow.
He was right out in the flats. Man, that was a house call. Yeah, that was a house call if he holds on to that.
Those are, yeah.
13-0 at half, bro. You can't complain about that.
Yeah, I can, because we started on the over the 50 once or twice. We can't fucking finish drives.
Well, tell Mario to get his shit together.
It's not Mario. It's Carson Beck. He stinks.
He does stink.
Yeah, it is. It's 13. It's 13-0 Miami right now, Carlos.
Yeah,
fucking 28-0.
All right.
Yeah.
Freaking, it should be freaking 28-0.
All right, let's get to the next game, Carlos.
All right, so the next game, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. It was Oregon State. Oregon, obviously number 16 in the country, taking on.
Like this.
Yeah, you can
because
pass this one. This is like you just look at the final score. Enough said. Next.
I guess. Well, the reason why I mentioned it because and it was a rivalry game, the Civil War. So that's probably
it looked like a one-sided Civil War.
Yeah,
it's been a one-sided Civil War for
it's been a long time.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're all in agreement. Move on.
Yeah, Oregon looks good against bad teams right now. I think that's the consensus. I don't know if Oregon's really been tested this year. Their biggest test is when they go to Penn State, I think.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah,
at Penn State. So can't wait for that one. All right, so I guess we'll move on.
That's a big one to talk about.
Yeah, so the next game this game actually occurred on Friday night. Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma
Bruh.
State, obviously, we all know they're awful right now. Mike Gundy, he's in the,
Bruh.
you know,
What happened?
I don't know what happened. They're the
What
Cowboys.
happened, dude? Gundy had a good thing going there for a long time.
yeah.
They have been awful the last like 2-3 years, like awful.
This is an example of a program that is not benefiting from the new college football
And-
format. That's
And
with
you
the
know it's
transfer
crazy,
portal and all
Coach?
that.
They're not benefiting in the Big 12 when Texas and Oklahoma are now gone. Like Texas and think about this. Oklahoma State was winning 10 games a year with Texas and Oklahoma in the conference. Texas and Oklahoma lead for the SEC. Oklahoma State should have been like the team to take over, and
top
they've
dog.
done the absolute opposite. They've like they're like awful now. I honestly thought with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, I thought, man, Oklahoma State's going to be the team in the Big 12 now. Like they're going to flex on the rest of the conference. You might have a TCU here and there, an Iowa State here and there, but I thought Oklahoma State had something with Gundy where it's like they're going to be a 10-win team in the Big 12 for the next 5, 6, however long Gundy's there. Dude, they're awful.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, man. So, wait, go
like
Tony.
crazy bad.
I mean, they're pathetic.
Like cra-
I mean, you can't beat Tulsa at home. That's bad. I'm not trying to poo-poo on Tulsa, but dude, are they going to win a conference game this year?
I don't know to be honest because because next week they got Baylor.
Baylor scores like 40 points a game. They're going to blow them out.
Yeah. They got on the road Arizona.
I mean, I can't confidently say they're going to go on the road and beat Arizona.
They got Houston at home.
No, I can't even confidently say
I
they're
can't
going to
even
beat
say
Houston.
that. Houston. Who did Houston play?
Colorado.
I mean, they beat Colorado pretty well.
They're pretty bad, yeah.
And that
Do
was
I
it.
think Oklahoma State's worse or better than Colorado? Right now, I'd probably say they're worse.
Damn.
I think Colorado would beat Tulsa at home. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So if that's the bar, I honestly don't know if they'll win a conference game this year. I don't think they won a conference game last year, did they?
Ew.
Oklahoma State.
No.
I don't
No,
think
they
so.
went 0 for in the conference last year.
Yeah, like 0 for
And
9.
you know what was bad for Oklahoma State is I don't see them turning it around no time soon. They're not a Florida State.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you
No.
see Florida State. You see how they turned it around in one season. They're
They
not
went
a
out and
Florida
got them. They went out and got their quarterback because Florida State has talent.
Yeah.
And last year, I can't even remember who played quarterback for them, but it was bad. But they went and got themselves a quarterback, a kid that can ball out. And now you're seeing all the talent around them. Like Florida State's defense, what they did against Bama was impressive. I know you give me the side eye, but like, listen, take Jake away. We know we hate Jake, even though we love him. But like what they did against Alabama, that defense looked good. They were flying around with the football. They played fast. It looked like Florida State again. And they had a quarterback they're confident in that can move the chains and put up points.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely Florida State has some weapons around like Makai Danzy, who is very fast. And I think he broke the record like for 400 meters for track for the ACC. Yeah, him. Deuce Robinson transferred from USC. Tony, we've got a USC transfer. Thank you very much, Deuce
Man,
Robinson.
stop it, Carlos.
You feel that jab, Coach? He out here throwing jab. He's a grown man now. Now he's starting to take jabs.
He's less than 24 hours away from being an adult, and he want to throw jabs.
Yeah, Deuce Robinson. He's been pretty good. Who else we got? We got Squirrel White transferred from Tennessee. So yeah, man, we definitely got some weapons at Florida State.
But I'm just saying, Oklahoma State they're not going to turn it around no time soon. It's going because they're not a Oklahoma, they're not a Texas, they're not a Tennessee, they're not one of them big schools where if they have one bad season that they can just return it around in one recruiting class. It's like
agreed. And they don't have the brand to go buy
No, they don't.
That quarterback that's really going to make the program have a difference. Like, if that
Yeah.
quarterback's that good, he's going to go to a bigger school with a more prominent branding.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
say you ball out at, Wake Forest or Georgia Tech. You're not going to transfer to Oklahoma State. You're going to go to
Oklahoma.
a Tennessee. You know what I mean? You're going to go to an Oklahoma. You're going to go somewhere that you really could actually do something.
Yeah, and they don't even. I don't even think they have the TV revenue and the TV exposure
Not
to
even
even
close.
lure a big name, a big name player out of the transfer portal.
The only hope they would have is to bring in like a kid that's balling out at an FBS school. Like, if you could find somebody that's like balling out at like Liberty and bring him in, but I don't know.
I don't know. But this is just an example of a program that is not beneficiating. Wow, I'm just making up words. Benefiting from the NIL era. It's actually hurting them
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think. Did they lose players from the before they started on this downward spiral? Did they lose players out of into the transfer portal?
I don't think so.
'Cause I don't follow Oklahoma State like that.
Here's the thing. Like, have they probably had kids transfer out like everybody else? Sure. But if they lost like mass waves of guys that would like make you believe that they're not winning any conference games, I don't think so. Like, every team has guys transfer. But I don't think they've had like a mass exodus of players. You know what I mean? Because Gundy's been the mainstay there. Like, I don't think they've lost a massive amount of players where it's like, oh, this team just can't even compete in the Big 12 anymore. That's what, and I don't know how you turn. It's like, it's weird if you're Oklahoma State because Gundy's your greatest coach of all time. How do you just fire a guy that's literally made you, relevant for so many years, but now it's just gotten so bad? It's like Clemson and Dabo. Clemson looks awful right now, but how do you fire a guy like Dabo who, I mean, he made Clemson relevant again, like national prominence? How do you just cut ties with your greatest coach of all time? It's kind of weird. It's kind of like when Texas had Mac Brown, and after the Vince Young years, they kind of went downhill. They had Colt McCoy for a little time, and they were competitive.
Yeah.
And then after Colt McCoy, it was like Texas just went to like a 6-7 win team with Mac, and they were like, "What do we do?" You know what I mean? He's arguably one of our greatest coaches of all time. He's won us a championship, but we just can't keep doing this. But I think the boosters and the branding at Texas have a lot more say than, say, like an Oklahoma State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if the Texas money's like, we're not paying for this, the school's going to listen to the boosters. So they could probably work somebody like a Mac Brown out. If Clemson boosters are like, we're not paying for this anymore, Dabo's time's going to come to an end. But it's hard to just cut ties with a guy that's won you 2 championships and turns you from an 8-win ACC team to a national brand. But that's what Gundy is. That's what Gundy is for Oklahoma State. He's their greatest coach of all time.
Well, let me
It's
ask
just
you
sad to
this,
see where it's at now.
because this is what a lot of schools are doing to counteract this NIL. What if Oklahoma State reaches out to some of their big alumni to get them on board in their program? I think that may help them lure some top prospects to Oklahoma State, knowing that a guy like Barry Sanders is there.
If they fork out the money, well, I think Thurman Thomas is another Oklahoma State grad.
Yeah, I was going to say Thurman Thomas
They
too.
got Thurman, Barry, Des Bryant. Like, there's guys out there that probably would, want to be on the sidelines, embrace, the university they played for. But let's be honest, it's going to take guys that graduate, like the CEO type guys that got tons of money. Those type of alumni who fork in a lot of money, they're going to need those guys to get on board and like, let's go buy us a real coach. If we're going to cut ties with somebody like Gundy, who's been here forever and has won all these games for us, we need the financial support to go buy a coach and pay somebody But I mean, it's not like Oklahoma State is like some like, low level team. Like they've had success. But it's just a matter of, the athletic director or the president getting everybody together. It's like, what direction do we want to go to? What kind of money are we working with? What are our options?
What do you think, Carlos?
Hmm?
What do you think, soon to be grown man?
Soon to be grown, man. I like
Huh?
that. Yeah, man. If Oklahoma State can, bring in some alumni, that can definitely give them a spark. But once again, like Steve said, it's gonna be a while till Oklahoma State's gonna be back in the spotlight. It's gonna be a long time until they come back.
But they're gonna have to do something. They can't be just sticking the bed at the bottom of the
Yeah, I know.
of the Big 12 for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. Yeah, they got to
It
do
all
something.
comes down to money, fellas. I mean, that's what college football is now. It's like if you can get a president or an AD that can get everybody in a room together, it's like where's our future? What are we looking for? Do we want to spend this money to be relevant in this conference? That's ultimately what it comes down to. It's unfortunate, but it's just the truth. Like Florida State went and bought themselves the best quarterback they could find, and they've turned it around. So, to this point, it seems like they've turned it around. You know what I mean? Like Notre Dame last year, they went out and bought Riley Leonard, and they ended up playing in a championship, making the playoffs. So it's like it takes money. It's sad that that's the world we live in right now, but it's just the truth. So if Oklahoma State wants to be the Oklahoma State from 5, 6, 7 years ago, with the landscape of everything, it's going to take boosters, it's going to take alumni, it's going to take prominent guys in the program to get together. And it's like, well, we need to fork up the money. If we really want to be a 10-win team and compete for a conference championship and get in the playoffs, it's going to take money. We're going to have to buy some transfers. We're going to have to recruit at a certain level and offer these kids NIL. And maybe you keep Gundy, maybe you buy a new coach. I don't know.
But let me give y'all some context of how bad this loss is, though. This is a horrible loss. You're in Ohio right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't an equivalent to Ohio State is the big brother, and Ohio is the little brother.
Yeah, what's the Ohio?
And Ohio coming in to Ohio State and getting an upset on Ohio State. Because Tulsa and Oklahoma State, Tulsa's the little brother, Oklahoma State is the big brother, and of course Oklahoma is the dad.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma would be more comparable to Ohio State, but I understand what you're saying, and you're not wrong. Like, you're Oklahoma State. You're the biggest – I mean, Oklahoma's in the SEC, but as far as, like, the Big 12 goes, like, you're the team in the big Power 4 conference, and you just let little brother come in and punk you.
Yeah.
That can't happen. You're a Power 4 conference team. You can't let little brother come in and just do that to you.
And their neighbors, like Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa from Oklahoma State is in Oklahoma City. Tulsa is just
Stillwater, Tony.
I mean Stillwater.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just a drive up Interstate 40.
Yeah, that's why the rivalry is called the Turnpike Classic.
Not Interstate 40. What's the Turnpike? I haven't even driven through there.
I don't know. The Turnpike Classic, and I guess that's what the rivalry is called.
The one that goes from Oklahoma, Tulsa up to St. Louis. That's the road I'm thinking of. That's the Turnpike I'm thinking about.
All right, so it's probably that.
I would
I
know.
can't think of the name.
I've never stepped foot in Oklahoma. I have no clue. I'm lucky I know the interstates in Ohio, bro. I stay at home. I'm a hermit, so.
You got to go experience how loud that Thunderdome gets when the OKC Thunder have their home game, especially the playoffs. You got to experience that, boy. It's an experience.
The farthest west I've been is Phoenix. Or no, I went to Denver too. Phoenix is farther west. Yeah, Phoenix is farther west. The farthest west I've been is Phoenix, and I took a plane, so I didn't have to drive anywhere.
I drove through Tulsa.
All right, so I think we done butchered Oklahoma State enough, right, Carlos?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no, poor
stink.
Oklahoma State, poor
They
them.
stink,
They stink like they ain't took a shower in 7 years.
bro. You ain't kidding. They rank.
All right, let's move on. Poor Cowboys. Okay.
Ain't no poor Cowboys.
Okay, another Friday night game. Iowa and Rutgers. Both teams, I believe, were undefeated.
Yeah, that's my cue to leave.
Thank God.
Whoa, you talking about Iowa? That is his cue to leave.
He's got to go to work, but he
said
bet
cute.
on this game Friday. That's the first thing he was bitching to me about when he came and stopped over for college football. He was like, "Did you see that Iowa Rutgers game? I took the under, and Iowa scores 38 points, and blah 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 blah. Iowa never scores 38 points."
Yeah, I know, right? Like
Yeah.
the Hawkeyes scoring over 30. that's
I know. Iowa scored over 30 points, and it doesn't happen often. He took the under. That's why he's upset.
Ah,
I know.
yeah, yeah,
dang
man.
it,
The
Carlos, you making people leave that's not even on the show.
Hey, the Hawkeyes got the win. I don't know how they scored 30
Do me a
plus.
favor. Can you carry this up?
I don't know
Just sit
how.
like it, or take it with you, whatever you want to do.
I don't know how the Hawkeyes scored 30 plus, but they did. And they beat Rutgers, a team that was undefeated.
It helps when you open the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a big help when you can put 7 on the board without taking 10 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Special teams, when you manufacture points with special teams.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, we lost Steve.
Stevie froze.
I think
he stepped outside, and I think his Wi-Fi
No, but
lagged.
like once upon a time, I used to play sports ball back in my day, and like if you ever had a big play on special
I
teams,
had no idea that he lagged.
that brought about points, it changes the entire trajectory of the game. It changes the entire energy of the team. When you can get a special teams score, it's a good day. So when you're on the road and you open the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown, that sets the tone, and that gets everybody excited.
Oh yeah, those are game changers.
We had that
special teams is a game changer
for sure. When you can manufacture points with your special team, it changes the trajectory of the game. It like energizes the team to another level. It's like points you weren't expecting, but you got them. So everybody's hyped, everybody's pumped. The offense plays better, the defense plays faster. Special teams, if you can score special teams touchdown, you're probably gonna have a good day. I'll see you later, bro. Be safe.
We'll see you.
Steve is nice enough to giving us a tour of his pad right now.
Yeah, I'm coming upstairs. We were downstairs watching. Did my internet, every time you leave, my internet goes out, bro. Because I'm on 5G now. Because he said I lagged for a second. Dude, it happens every time you leave.
I'm telling you, switch that fiber.
I need that fiber optics, bro. I'm telling you, Comcast is poop. All right, bro. I'll see you. He's taking off for work. Yeah, if you guys are. I feel like MTV. You're getting a look at the pad right now because I was.
Everybody is. We're live.
Oh snap! I hope I don't dox myself.
My docs.
But yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to go on a prattle there, but special teams starting out the game with the score makes a big difference.
Yeah, you were talking. You were making valid points about special teams, and then that's when it started lagging. But yeah, that is true. Even especially if you're in a game, you're in a slugfest, and you're stuck on one side of the field for like a whole quarter, and then next thing you know, you just boom. Get a good punt return, or
it's hard to explain. It just changes the whole vibe of the sideline, bro. Like that's why I brought up, like, once upon a time when I played sports ball and I was playing football, we had a kid that returned kicks for us, and he was dynamic. Like, we weren't that great of a team, but when he made an impact on special teams, it's like we played great. It always seemed like when he took a punt back or something like that on special teams, it was like that was just the difference in the game. It gets everybody hyped because it's points you're not accounting for that you end up with. So the other sideline gets let down because it's like, damn, we just gave up 7 on a special teams play when we were getting ready to go out on defense. And then the other team's like, damn, we just got 7 points we weren't expecting. So everybody's hyped. And when your special teams impacts the game with points, it's going to be a good night most times, unless you're Notre Dame and play Texas A&M and block a punt for a touchdown and still somehow lose the game like a bunch of losers.
He always taking shots at his squad.
Listen, bro, I'm a realist. I'm not one of these guys who just twerks for my team. I'm honest. Like, our defense sucks this year, bro. It's not good. Like, I'm happy we beat Purdue, but when you give up 30 points at home to Purdue, that's not good, dude. Like, that's not good. Because when you play an Arkansas on the road, like, I know they lost today, but Arkansas can score. Like, they can put up 30 points. And if you're giving up 30 points to a Purdue, you're going to give up 30 points to an Arkansas. You're going to have to score 40 now, but I don't know. I'm just a realist.
Yeah,
All right, my internet's back. It always does this. It's weird. At certain times at night, it kicks out for like 15 minutes and it kicks back on.
Well, you did put up a 50 piece on them, though.
I mean, that's good. But in hindsight, it's like, all right, you scored 50 on Purdue at home. When you're Notre Dame and you're coming off a championship appearance, you should score 50 points against Purdue at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't pat teams on the back. Excuse me. I don't pat teams on the back for doing what they should do. What you shouldn't do is give up 40 points or 30 points at home to a Purdue. That's the bad. Like, people always call me a pessimist and, you're always overcritical. And it's like, no, I'm just a realist. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, Notre Dame's now back because we beat Purdue. I look at the game and I think, okay, we showed good signs on offense. We put up points. The offense was efficient, but that's what you're supposed to do against a team like Purdue. But you gave up 30 points at home and 22 points and a half against Purdue. Purdue's not even a top 8 team in the Big Ten. Like, that's not a good sign. And, like, that's going to show itself later in the season. It's already showed itself. We gave up 40 points at home to Texas A&M. Not good. Then you follow that up with a 30-point game you gave up to Purdue at home. Yeah, you scored 50, but you still gave up 30. That's not a good sign. Because, like, let's say Notre Dame, I don't think that's the case, but hypothetically, let's say they run the table and they go 10-2. And they're a fringe playoff team, and maybe they sneak in at 10 or at 11 or 12. With this defense, and they're going to play a team in the playoffs, they're going to get boat raced because they can't stop anybody. If you can't stop Purdue, if Purdue's going to score 30 at home against you, what do you think one of the big dogs are going to do?
Score a lot.
I was mad that we gave up 17 to Purdue.
That's what I mean, Coach. Like, you could sit there and say, oh, USC should have scored more points, but you only gave up 17 points on the road playing a noon game when you're a West Coast team. That's not bad.
I was upset that we gave up 17 points.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Coach? It took a goofy trick play for them to get to 17. They did that quarterback, throw it to the sideline and throw it back to the quarterback, and they scored on that goofy-ass play, which, okay, it took a crazy, goofy trick play for them to get to 17 points. That's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? But you still scored 35. Like, I would be more happy with a 35-17 win versus a 56-30 win at home. And to be honest, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for USC, but playing a noon game in the Midwest when you're flying from the West Coast, like, that's like out of the normal for them. Like,
that's like playing a game that's like them 9 o'clock games, Carlos.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know how them 9 o'clock games feel.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's like you just rolled up out of bed and you played this team and still smoked them. And yeah, you gave up a garbage, goofy trick play touchdown, but you still really held them to basically 10 points, which is fine. That's not bad. Notre Dame played at home at 3:30 and you gave up 22 points and a half, and then they scored 30 at the final. Now, you can say the defense played better in the second half, but I look at the macro where I look down the road where it's like when you don't play a team like Purdue and you play somebody more competitive, do I not think USC can score more than 30 points like Purdue did? I certainly do. I think USC could come in and score 40 easily. That's how I look at it, though.
But
All right.
let's not boost them up because then they might go on a. The last time when we had fingernails over there, we were boosting them up, and then they went on that they went to Notre Dame and got dog smoke, and then the season just went down to two.
I would say this: we had a defense then. This year, Coach, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, and I ain't trying to gaslight you. I could easily see USC waltzing into Notre Dame. And scoring 35 plus points. This year, I think they could easily do it. I'll say this. I think your guy's quarterback, I can't remember his name. He played against us last year. He played like the second half of the season last year. Yes, he's going to throw for 300 yards and probably 3 or 4 touchdowns against our defense. I'm book it now. If he's healthy, by the time we play, he's going to throw for 300 some yards on us. Huh.
Well, you're better than Bruce.
I'm just honest. I love Bruce. You know, I love Bruce. He's my guy. I was vetting to him too. I was texting him at halftime. I'm like, dude, this defense is sorry. I was like, we finally have a quarterback. It seems like the offense can throw the ball, and now we don't have a defense. We're giving up 30 points at home to Purdue. This is crazy work. And he's like, yeah, it kind of seems like we just can't get everything clicking together. It's like one season the offense is and the defense is elite. Then the next year the offense looks good and the defense stinks. So, I'm objective where I'm not going to give my team the benefit of the doubt because they're my team. When you can't generate a pass rush with 4 and you're playing zone coverage as much as they are, those windows are there, man. Like, you can only ask guys to cover a zone for so long when you're not getting home with four guys rushing the quarterback. Well, it's almost like playing prevent defense. You're just trying to keep the play in front of you. But for 10 yards here, 8 yards here, 15 yards here, 20 yards here, it's like, well, now you're in goal. You can't live playing defense that way.
Yeah, it's hard to replace though. The amount of talent that went to the NFL on that defense though.
And I'm not trying to be devil's advocate, Coach, but I'm going to do it. This is what's disappointing. We lost Ben Morrison, who was an All-American corner, but he got hurt during the Louisville game. He didn't even play most of the season. We lost Xavier Watts, and we lost 2 defensive linemen. I think we upgraded at quarterback. I think this young guy is actually better than Leonard. He can throw the ball. So it's like we lost 3 guys on defense, and you return everybody else. We returned Leonard Moore, Christian Gray, Adon Schuler, the entire linebacker room. We returned everybody. We returned everybody on the offensive line. And this is what we see. Again, and I don't think we lost, like, Xavier Watts was a big loss. But outside of him, I don't think we lost anybody that was like, man, we should be giving up 30 points at home to Purdue type of impact. I think a lot of this is we lost our defensive coordinator to the Bengals. That, to me, is what the big problem is. And we replaced him with this guy who just, like 10 years ago, he had success, but I don't understand the hire. I think we had a guy in-house. We should have promoted the defensive coordinator, but we didn't do that. We went outside and brought this guy in. His name's Chris Ash. He coached at Rutgers. He was a defensive coordinator when Ohio State won a championship when Urban was there. But that was so long ago. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just think the game may have passed this dude by. The guys that Al Golden and Freeman recruited were for Al Golden's system. This new system seems like, dude, we're recruiting guys that play man coverage. We recruit linebackers that blitz. And this zone stuff we're playing, it's like, one, we're not getting a pass rush for a zone to really be effective. And two, you got guys who are used to playing man coverage like 80% of the time, now playing zone 50% of the time. I think a lot of it is schematics. I don't think we lost that much to the NFL where I thought, versus what we returned, I thought we returned more where our defense was going to be elite still. I think it
should have been still elite.
Oh, of course, man. Everything that we brought back. And to be honest with you, Ben Morrison wasn't even playing playoff football for us. He was injured when we were in the playoffs. So we were playing Leonard Moore and Christian Gray and these guys who were having success, Adon Schuler, like these guys who were playing on the back end that were successful against the Penn States, the Georgias, the Indianas. Ohio State kind of exposed us, but they got some freaks, dude. Jeremiah Smith and Beck Abuka and a lot of the guys they have, like they're just a different level of talent. But for the most part, a lot of the guys that played substantial snaps last year, they're all coming back. And for them to look like this, I don't. You have to think in our 2 home games, we played Texas A&M and Purdue. We've given up 71 points. That's crazy work, bro. You can't hang your hat on a defense that's given up that many points at home.
I think they'll get to a point where they're gonna sit down and iron out those schematics, because this is Notre Dame. They're not going to keep putting that product out there.
I hope you're more optimistic.
Your coach. Your coach has more. Your coach has more. You got a solid head coach, and it falls on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll right the ship, especially before the Trojans come into town, because you cannot, as a Notre Dame, you can't let your arch rivals come into your building and put a 30 plus on you, whether you win the game or not. You can't allow that to happen.
300 yards and 3 touchdowns, Coach. I'm telling you now.
They're gonna get it together before USC comes into town. Mark my words.
337 yards and 3 touchdowns. Book it.
That's
my prediction.
Your last marquee
I'm not
game
saying win or lose, but that's my prediction. I think. Listen, if you remember the Notre Dame USC game last year, he was lighting us up until the last quarter when we got 2 pick sixes at the end of the game. But he was throwing all over us. And based off what I've seen this year, he threw for 300 yards on us last year.
Yeah,
he's only got more experience.
I don't want to reminisce that game last year.
I'm not trying to say it as a jab. I'm just saying we've already seen him prove himself that he can throw the ball against what we rolled out last year when we had a really good defense. Do I not think he can do that again this year when our defense looks like this? I'm putting my money on him throwing for 300 yards. I just watched the Texas A&M kid throw for 170 yards to 1 receiver and a half. And they made no adjustments, Coach. I hope you're right where we make adjustments and fix things. But and then we come back this week and I'm seeing a kid from Purdue throw all over us and score 20-some points and a half. This is Purdue. Do I not think USC could walk in and do the same thing? Of course I do. I think USC is way more talented than Purdue.
What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, true, because if you're struggling against Purdue's offense, and imagine USC's offense, because from what I heard, USC's offense is one of the best offenses in the country, according to what I heard. So if you're going to struggle against Purdue, man, it's going to be real struggles against USC's offense.
I mean, I don't know who everybody – I know that you guys played Purdue, but I'm not sure the first 2 games. But y'all were scoring like 60, 70 points a game against nobodies.
Yeah, it was nobody.
But still, you're putting up 70 points. That's impressive. And then you play Purdue at 9 a.m., and you're still scoring 35-plus points on the road. Do I not think in a night game in South Bend, in a rivalry, they're not going to be hyped remembering last year saying, hey, we played with Notre Dame for 3.5 quarters, It got away from us at the end, but we can play with these guys. We threw all over them last year, and they can't cover anybody this year. We're going to do the same thing. That's just how I look at it. I listen, you know I'm a Notre Dame fan. I love my Irish, but
at the end of the day,
I'm a realist. I'm a football guy. And when I watch football, I'm looking at Notre Dame's defense thinking USC can throw the ball on us. They're going to have a field day. We can't get home. We can't sack the quarterback. And our defense is now playing zone all of a sudden. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for him to throw.
But our defense hasn't been tested yet against an elite offense yet.
Oh, I'm not saying. I think
they still put up 56 on Purdue. They still put up 40. They still put up 40 on Texas. What is it?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. And that was just a slugfest with Miami. So
I mean, I agree with you.
I
think
we haven't played in the league. Our defense hasn't went up against an elite offense yet.
True.
So
true. And I'll be honest, that's kind of like the knock on Lincoln Riley. He recruits offense. He's a quarterback guy. He's an offensive coordinator type at heart. He's not necessarily as worried about the defense. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, I'm looking at it from, if we can't stop y'all, that's a problem. Now, you could argue, well, Notre Dame could probably score 30 points on Southern Cal. They very well might likely, but we know this game, Coach. If you can't get off the field on defense, you're not going to have long-term success. So it might be a shootout. That's why I'm not saying win or lose. I'm not predicting that. I'm saying he's going to throw the ball for 300-plus yards on us. We still might win, but that's not a sustainable thing for you to be winning football games when you can't generate a pass rush and teams are throwing the ball all over you.
True.
Because ultimately defense is going to win you championships.
True.
Yep.
Well, we want Steve to enjoy this show. We don't want him to have a bad taste in his mouth about his Irish. So let's move off from the Irish for now.
It's my own fault. I just like I said, I'm having a great time. I appreciate you reaching out, Coach. I love talking ball. I know because of Bruce's chat, everybody thinks I just, like I'm a bias for Notre Dame. Like I do. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I have no problem being objective. I call balls and strikes for everybody. But yeah, we can move on. Our defense stinks.
We have any more games from this week, or are we about to? Are you ready to get into next week's marquee matchups?
I can give you live updates like of right now, like live games.
The game's on now.
Yeah, there's plenty. Well, obviously we all know Miami, Florida. Miami up 13-0 over Florida right now. It's Florida ball right now. Florida looks like they're
moving it right now.
They're moving it right now. So I don't know. I don't know. It's an in-state rivalry, so I guess we'll see what happens down the stretch. South Carolina, Missouri, that game's pretty interesting. Missouri up 26-20. South Carolina has the ball on their own 33 right now in the fourth quarter. So, and I think Lenore Sellers is playing in that game, I believe.
I was going to ask if he was playing because I know he left the game last week.
Yes, he is playing. Pete Thamel confirmed it this morning. He confirmed it this morning, and yeah, man, South Carolina. When Lenore Sellers is there in South Carolina, they're definitely a dangerous threat. Most definitely. Indiana, Illinois, we talked about it a little bit. Indiana up 42-10 over Illinois in the third quarter.
They're not the Fighting Illini today.
Oh no, the Fighting Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are beating up on the Illini.
More like the losers. I honestly thought that would be a better game.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised how Indiana is kind of dominating them like this.
Yeah, pretty shocking to me, Yeah, like Indiana's up by 32. They're proving a statement right now, so they're doing really good right now. Vandy, they're up over Georgia State 42-9. That's expected. LSU, they're up by 42 over FCS, and then Texas, they're up 38-0 over Sam Houston.
Vandy, I know Sellers got hurt last week, but that was impressive what Vandy did last week against South Carolina.
Yeah, they won 31-7.
I mean, that's a dominant win.
That is.
Like, you don't win 31-7 by mistake. That's a dominating win.
Yeah, and especially that game was on the road too for Vandy. That's like extra points for them.
Yeah.
No. Also going on right now is the Apple Cup, Washington State. That game's going on right now. Washington is up 31-24 over Wazoo over there on
Oh,
CBS.
so Washington, wow. Last I saw it was 21-0. Wazoo must have scored a little bit.
Yeah, now it's 31-24 Washington right now. So
That's a game. That's a game.
Yeah, the Apple Cup, the Apple Cup rivalry, so that's doing good right now. Let's see here. Any Power 5 games? Arizona State up 13-10 over Baylor right now.
I forgot about that one. I'm going to put that one on too.
Yeah, Arizona State has the ball right now, and Baylor's 25 right now. That game's on Fox.
Shoot.
Let's see.
I hate technology. I'm so dumb.
Come on, Illinois. I need you, man. Y'all not going to be top 10 next week when we play y'all.
Yeah, poor Illinois. They're definitely not gonna be a top 10 in Indiana. I think
it's another noon game, man. That's going to be a scary game for us next week.
Oh, noon. Is that noon?
Yeah, we going to Illinois for a noon game on the road.
Yikes!
That's not Purdue.
Yeah, but during the games today, the top 25, there's barely been any upsets. Through the top 25, like I'm looking through the top 25 right now, and probably the only upset you could say is Texas Tech beating Utah, number 17 beating number 16. But throughout the day, there hasn't been really much upsets. Like Oklahoma survived against Auburn today. Obviously, we all know what Florida State did today. They beat up Kent State by 56. Michigan survives on the road against Nebraska. Yeah, man.
That was a good game for most of it, though. Michigan kind of ran away at the end, but that was a pretty good game for the most part.
Yeah, that was. But Michigan got without Sherrone Moore head coach. So, yeah, they got it done. The Wolverines.
That was at Nebraska, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at Nebraska.
That's a solid win for a young quarterback. That's not an easy place to just walk in and win.
Yeah.
So I got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, true.
All right, I think I got it set up now. Yes, I did it.
Yeah, probably the first major upset might be during the primetime slot when Indiana is going to be Illinois. That's probably going to be the biggest upset of today.
In the fashion in which Indiana's blowing them out, yeah, I would say that's shocker. I don't think Indiana winning is like an upset, but the way they're winning, it's kind of crazy. I didn't think it would be like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's a whooping, bro.
Yeah, the reason why the reason why I said it was an upset because Indiana's number 19, Illinois is number 9, so numbers wise, so yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, there hasn't been much action in the top 25, this week. The day before my birthday, there hasn't been much action. Not much upsets, but
it's not all about you, Carlos.
I know, but last year, what was a little bit better, but top 25 teams handling their business. Definitely some impressive wins today, like the Memphis one we saw.
That was a fun game.
Yeah, that was. Memphis got the dub at home against Arkansas.
That's who we play next week is Arkansas.
Yeah, it's going to be a dangerous game.
At Arkansas at noon is definitely dangerous. And this is what I'll say. Arkansas has 2 losses, but in their 2 losses, they're scoring 30 points a game.
They are.
And knowing Notre Dame's deficiencies on defense, that's a trap game.
Yep, you gotta watch out. Rat poison.
Yeah. And then even though Illinois is getting dog walked today, we still noon game coming from the West Coast, going to Illinois, playing a tougher opponent than Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
That they're ranked 9 today, but they're not going to be ranked top 10 next week, but they're still a ranked opponent.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be
And you know what?
A tough one for us too.
It's dangerous, Coach, because they're getting their butts whooped on national TV right now in a ranked game, and that's like a setup. It's like if we have the chance to play another competitive team at home now, we can take our frustrations out, so to speak. Or it's like we need to redeem ourselves and prove ourselves, and what better yet than playing USC at home? That's a lot of teams will bounce back like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's gonna be a scary game next week. Because they're like, we're better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and being at home. You got embarrassed on the road. Nothing feels better than getting a home win against a team that people respect.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if Illinois, they're probably going to be outside the top 20. If they're probably going to be outside the top 20 if this keeps up. If Indiana is going to continue to blow Illinois, like, to be honest, like, probably Illinois is going to be outside the top 20, probably, because.
I wouldn't be surprised, Carlos. Like you said, they're taking an ass whooping. So the people who are voting are going to look at this and be like, man, maybe we just overhyped them. And that's another thing that's kind of scary, Coach. You play a team that just got boat raced on national television, and the voters, they feel disrespected by the voters. They have all that much more motivation to play at home and kind of redeem themselves when they have another spotlight on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but,
I'd still pick
the
USC,
worst thing to
though.
do is they kick them out the top 25, which I don't think that will, because Indiana's ranked too.
Yeah. I don't think you can punish a team. I mean, yeah, it looks like it is an ass whooping. But you don't. It's hard to punish a team that much to drop them from what? What's Indiana ranked? 9th, 10th?
They're 9. They're 9 now.
So you drop them completely out of the top 25 out of one game. I don't know if you do that much.
Yeah, now they'll probably be like.
They'll probably be around 19 to 22.
Probably 22. Probably I think it's definitely gonna be outside the top 20 for sure. Outside.
It also has to. It depends on what other movements going on in the top 25. That has a factor in it too.
Yeah, true. But the top 25, top 25 hasn't had much drama today.
Right.
Probably that game, Illinois Indiana, is probably the most drama we've seen today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
we still have to handle business tonight against Michigan State.
You do.
And just think, if you're Michigan, but turn the page the other way. You're Michigan State. You're playing. I know it's you guys might say, well, a night game is easier than a morning game, but you got to think they're playing a game that would have been. That's like them having to kick off at 10 o'clock their time.
Mm-hmm.
That's really late.
Yeah. Man, Arizona State just got an interception, and Florida just got an interception.
Oh, wow.
Back to back.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
13-7, and it's Florida.
Dude,
ball.
Miami's in trouble.
Oh, the tables have turned.
Old Carson showed up.
Oh, my God. The tables have turned.
This will be a huge statement win for Florida if they.
Well, I'm telling you, they're 1-2 coming off
They'll
of
be
South
2
Florida.
They'll be
this
2-2, and they may can save their season.
They need this one.
They can
because they lost to South Florida. They just lost to LSU. If they could beat Miami, who's a top 5 team right now on the road, you're right. This could totally save their season.
They could save their
season.
They'll be 2-2.
And going into conference play feeling good about themselves.
Yep.
Where it's like, yeah, we got 2 losses, but we don't have a conference loss yet. If we can somehow be in the top end of the conference, we might have a shot. Because if you can win the SEC or finish second in the SEC,
You're good.
that
That's big.
carries
Then.
a lot
That's
of
big.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that carries a lot of weight.
The SEC is a slaughterhouse every week.
I know Bruce don't like to hear it, but dude, they're just top to bottom. It's just a tough conference, man. Like even when a team like Auburn, it's like, oh, we have to go on the road and play at Auburn. Like that's not a gimme game. Like I know Auburn's been down, but going to Auburn with a couple losses, like that's still a tough environment to play in. Especially, let's say you just play Tennessee, and then you got to go play at Auburn, and then you got to go play Georgia. Now we're looking at Vanderbilt this year, and it's like Vanderbilt looks tough. So it's like it's just a tough conference, and we haven't even talked about the Texases, the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Georgias. It's just Ole Miss. You got to play at Ole Miss. That's a tough place to play. That's why I get it. Like he lives down in that area, so he's tired of hearing about the SEC, which I get. I live in Ohio. I hate Ohio State fans. I get tired of hearing it. But the truth is the truth. Ohio State's a hell of a team. They're always good. The SEC is the best conference. It's always tough to navigate that schedule.
True.
Well, Florida, don't get easy, Steve.
No, they got a gauntlet, bro. Their conference schedule is crazy.
Their next two games, they're in the middle of their 4-game stretch of their toughest games. Well, not their. Now they still got, but look at this. Even if let's say they pull this out, they go 2-2. They open the SEC after their bye week at home against Texas. Then go on the road to Texas A&M. Then they're at home against Mississippi State, and then Georgia comes to town after that.
And the game against Georgia, that's gonna be in Jacksonville, so it's a neutral site game.
Yeah. I think they always play that in Jacksonville.
Yeah, but I think starting next year is gonna change because they're renovating the stadium. So I think they're gonna do like a how do you call it?
Home and home.
Yeah. So like so like I think next year it's gonna be in Tampa or Atlanta or something like that. Yeah. So it's gonna be.
Man, just have the game at their home sites, man.
Yeah, man. If I was a season ticket holder, I'd kind of be upset about that. But if that's how the tradition's always been, I get it. But if I was a season ticket holder, I'd be like, man, I'd like to see that game on my campus.
Well, after Georgia, they get a little reprieve. They get Kentucky They go to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got to go to Ole Miss.
That's not easy. That's tough. Ole Miss is talented, man.
Goodness.
They might not be at the top of the SEC, but playing at Ole Miss ain't easy. It's like Auburn. It's just not an easy place to play at.
Steve, I don't know why they did this to themselves. Then after Ole Miss, then they play Tennessee at home.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And to put icing on the cake, after they go through all of that,
the SEC.
Then they play Florida State, don't they?
After they go through all of that, then they got their traditional rivalry with Florida Sate.
That's crazy, bro.
Like after
that's insane.
That's like you're lost in the wilderness for 2 months. You haven't ate anything but roots and bugs for 2 months. You fought back. You finally get to your car to get to civilization, and there's a grizzly bear.
Just waiting on the hood of the car.
Waiting there, sitting at your car, and you got to get through that grizzly bear to get to civilization. It's like
that's great, dude. That's that might be the toughest schedule. Now they had a tough schedule last year too, but that schedule might be one of the hardest college football slates I've ever heard in my life. They've already played South Florida, who's been ranked and beat them. They just played LSU, ranked. They're playing Miami, ranked. You said they play Tennessee, They play at Ole Miss, who I believe is still ranked.
I mean,
Tennessee's ranked. They
I can put
play.
it up on this. I can
Did you
put it
say
up.
Georgia?
I can pull it
Yeah,
up.
they play Georgia and
Yes.
Jacksonville.
Yes.
That's going to be a ranked game. They play Texas and Texas A&M, both ranked, and then they play Florida State, who's ranked.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy. Like if they already have 2 losses. That's insane. They could be a 6-6 team, and we could still look at them and be like, man, they're pretty good.
Yeah, probably like the best 6-6 team in the country.
And ever that's ever played football. That's crazy. Okay.
That's the gauntlet. Well, remember, they picked their non-conference. This is their conference schedule. They picked their non-conference schedule.
I'm sure they didn't think South Florida was going to be what they are this year.
Yeah, no,
but
they
still, you play LSU. You're playing Miami right now. Then you play Tennessee, Texas A&M. Do they play Texas, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah,
they play Texas. Okay, I see the live things covered it on my screen. Texas, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, and then Florida State. That is crazy. When you've already played LSU in South Florida and Miami. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, they played the easiest part of their schedule.
I know some of these rankings will change, but do we really think Tennessee or Texas A&M or Ole Miss is going to be that bad? Even if they lose a game here and there, I don't think. I have a hot take.
Well, they're 13 right now, Ole Miss.
I have a hot take. I don't think Texas is that good.
We already know how you feel about Arch Manning. You already let it be known. We already know how you feel about Texas.
Carlos, what do you think?
Yes,
I said this on your guys' show. I've been saying it to Bruce for like months. I don't think Arch is as good as we're being sold.
True. Yes, because I feel like he has all the hype because it's just the last name.
Yeah.
And, like if his name was like Arch Brown, we would not be giving all this hype.
And he would not have been a 5-star recruit.
Oh my goodness, Carlos, really?
He basically what did I call him in Bruce's
Arch
chat?
Brown.
Oh no.
I called him Bronny Manning.
No, don't do that.
Arch James.
He's not that bad.
Bro, he might be.
He's not averaging.
Listen, when you watch Texas,
he's not throwing triple singles.
Listen, when he's played a team like Ohio State, now I get it. Ohio State's really good. But when I watched that game against Ohio State, he missed throws that you got to make.
So you think,
like if you're a 5-star talented kid, you got to make some of those throws. That game should have been way more competitive. Texas has a legit defense. They have legit playmakers around him. He is the guy that stands out, and you're like, this guy's just not up to par with the rest of what Texas has. Texas's defense is nasty. They have a good defense. They have playmakers. But when I watched Texas, and we saw it last week against, what was it, UTEP?
Yeah, UTEP.
He did not look like a 5-star quarterback. He did not look like an SEC quarterback. And I'm not going to pretend that because of his name and he had this coaching in high school and this person and he learns from these people. Like, I'm just judging by what I see. And just like when I watch Bronny James, I don't see a everyday NBA player. When I watch Arch Manning, I do not see a 5-star quarterback that should be at the helm of a place like Texas. I just don't see it. And I'm not being a hater. I'm not being mean. I said this last year when he played in spots for Quinn Ewers. And when he was trying to throw the ball then, I looked and I was like, he can run the ball a little bit, but he can't throw. He's not a polished passer. Like you can tell it's just not natural.
That's Tua's back up this year, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know Steve's been saying this. He wants to just be right. It's not about me being right. When you watch his recruiting film, when you watch where he played high school, he played in a low-level high school division. I think it was Louisiana or Mississippi. I can't remember which one. It might have been Louisiana. But he played in a low class or a low division where he was playing kids that are not going to be going Division I. And he balled out against a bunch of kids that were not You know what I mean? It's like he wasn't playing that high a competition in high school. He got a 5-star because of his last name, just like Bronny did. Bronny wasn't a if anybody, Coach, you were around the game. When you watched Bronny James at where was he? Was he at Bishop Gorman or Montverde? Where did he go?
Sierra Canyon.
Sierra Canyon. Thank you. He wasn't even one of the 3 best players on his own team, and he's a 5-star McDonald's All-American. Cap.
We're supposed to be talking about football.
I'm making the correlation to Arch. I'm gonna land my plane. I don't think Arch can't be good eventually, but this is going to be a long-term developmental season for him where he's going to really have to learn through experience, because I just don't see him. Imagine I'm not trying to take over the show. If you happen to want to pull up Texas's schedule, I'm curious to see Texas's schedule, because he's going to also have to play an SEC schedule, and it's going to be difficult on him.
No,
They're going to have to play Texas A&M. They're
schedule is
going to have to
similar
play
to
Georgia.
Florida's, but they don't have that tough non-conference game.
I mean, they played Ohio State, which I give them credit for, and I don't think Arch looked that good. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like when I watched that Texas Ohio State game, both defenses were elite. Playmakers were elite. But what was the one thing that stood out to me was I was like, man, Arch just did not play up to par. He was not playing competitive ball to the point where I thought Texas ever had a shot in that game. I didn't see him make any throws. Maybe towards the end in garbage time where they were throwing the ball every play, he might have dropped 1 or 2 in the bucket. But like overall throughout that, and then we saw against UTEP last week, it did not look good. And that's UTEP at home.
UTEP. I'm not mocking you, Steve.
No, I know. I just don't want it to come out like I'm being a hater. I'm not. I mean, I'll make my jokes and stuff, but like I wish the kid well, just like I wish Bronny James well. I don't wish anything bad on him. Is this Texas's schedule?
You're being a hater. Yeah. Oh,
Everybody
they
says that.
do
Whenever
got
you
the
say
Red
the
River
truth.
rivalry coming up right after Florida.
Yeah.
All right, so they won today, which Sam Hughes. Okay, that game doesn't even count. That's Oklahoma. That's going to be tough.
Oh, they have Georgia too.
Mississippi State.
Damn it, it's not as tough as Florida.
At Mississippi State ain't going to be easy for him to play at. Then they got Georgia, Texas A&M, Florida. Vanderbilt looks decent. I skipped Kentucky and Arkansas. I don't know. But I'll be honest, Coach. I said this on Bruce's channel. I called in with him and Snead, and I said I would not be surprised if Texas loses 3 or 4 games this year. Tell me from what you've seen from Arch and looking at this schedule, would you be surprised if they lose 3 or 4 games? Would you be shocked?
Well, I would rather him would have went to Ole Miss instead of Mississippi State.
Ole Miss.
Play against Eli's alma mater.
I agree.
Ole Miss instead of Mississippi
And that
State.
would be more difficult playing at Ole Miss.
But that would have sold tickets.
Oh, yeah. But honestly, do you guys look at what Texas is right now and how Arch has played? Do you look at this schedule, the remainder of the schedule, and think they've lost to Ohio State? If they lost another 3 games, 2 or 3 games, would you be that shocked? If they lose to Oklahoma, lose to Georgia, and maybe lose to either, I don't know, Texas A&M or Florida or something like that, they dropped another game, or maybe even a Vanderbilt. I don't know. I just don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to lose 3 or 4 games. I don't think Arch is like that amazing where it's like, oh, that just can't happen. I think it very well could happen.
Yeah, there's definitely, definitely Texas are going to lose some games on here. Most definitely,
That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And when I called in to Snead and Bruce, they were like, bro, you're crazy. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what you saw from Arch that made you think like he proved himself in any capacity. I just didn't see it. And then I'll be honest, what sold me is when I saw the highlights from the UTEP game last week. They booed him at
Yeah,
home.
they did. Yeah, they did.
So it's like, obviously, I'm not a hater. I'm not crazy. They see it too, and they're his own fans. And they're like, what is going on? This kid is not throwing the ball. He can't throw the ball.
Well, I definitely don't see them going into Georgia and pulling out a win.
No way.
And I don't
I don't know
saying
if they
them.
played
I don't know.
that. I don't know if they call it the Red River Shootout or the Red River Rivalry or whatever they call it. The Oklahoma-Texas game. I'm pretty sure that's a neutral
Yeah,
site.
that's a Red River rivalry. It's always at a neutral site.
It's always at a neutral. So it's like he's playing in a neutral place against Oklahoma. He's not going to have his own fan. I mean, he's going to have fans, obviously, but it's like you're not playing at home. So I wouldn't be. Oklahoma's looked pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just beat Auburn.
they're going to be in the top 10 tomorrow. They're going to be in the top 10 tomorrow.
I would agree. So, do I think Texas losing to Oklahoma would be that crazy to really, like, could I fathom that world? I can. I think Texas could lose to Oklahoma. I think Texas could lose to Georgia. Hell, Texas could lose to Texas A&M. And then you still have a competitive Florida. It seems like Vanderbilt's playing competitive football right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a shame because when I watched the Ohio State-Texas game, Texas's defense is legit. Like, they have a legit defense. It seems like they have some playmakers around him. But if the one thing when I watch Texas that stands out, I think the quarterback play is not where it needs to be right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Right now, they definitely need to clean that up for sure for Texas.
He's got some development things he's got to get. You know what I mean? It's just, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of players need to develop. They need experience. That's normal. But when I point it out and I think like, hey, he's going to have a tough first year at the helm, I don't think that's that crazy to say. 2 weeks ago, everybody said I was nuts.
Well, 2 weeks ago, you had less evidence. Well, the easiest part of the schedule is over. So what else?
I think there's more evidence there, Coach. I think there's more evidence there than people are willing to admit. Because he played last year. Because Quinn Ewers was always hurt for at least a couple games. Arch played in games last year. And when I watched him last year, I thought, this is a 5-star prospect. And all of this hype, because even last year with Quinn there, you heard all about Arch. That's all you heard about. And when he got his chances, I thought, I just don't think he's throwing the ball. Like, he doesn't look like a natural passer to me. He doesn't look like he's seeing things the way he should be. And that's all we heard in the offseason. He's going to be the projected number 1 pick. He's the Heisman favorite candidate. And then I watched the Ohio State game, and I thought the defense looked like a Heisman candidate, not Arch. Texas's defense looked really good, not Arch.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I feel like Arch, I feel like his problem is like his mental. Like, I feel like that's his problem. He's listening to all this hype. And I feel like it's too much weight on him. Like he needs to just step back, take a deep breath. Just calm down, basically. And I feel like he's got all this weight on him. The Manning, the hype, the Heisman. I feel like it's too much for him. Like, I feel like that's his problem.
I think the root of the problem with Arch right now, it goes back to high school. He was playing in a division where he was not facing high-level competition. And Bruce tried to bring up the comparison where that's where his uncles went to high school. And I'm like, okay, but that was 30 years ago. We don't know what the competition was 30 years ago. Right now, that school seems to be like a smaller division school, and they're not playing the top-end talent. And they gave this kid a 5-star based off his last name. And you can't do things like that. We just saw it. I know it's not the same sport, but we just saw it with Bronny. That's why I was making the jokes.
Yeah.
Now, Bronny played at high-level competition, but we could clearly see he wasn't even one of the 3 or 4 best players on his team. And from what I've heard, he wasn't even one of the best players in that conference that his team plays in, or whatever it was, whatever the division level is. So it's like sometimes there's politics involved with a lot of these things. It's just the truth. And when you come from a family like the Mannings, I can understand why there's a bullseye put on you and expectations are high. But having said that, you can't recruit a kid based off expectations in his last name. You have to recruit a kid and evaluate him based off his play and the competition he plays. It's merit-based, not name-based.
For sure, for sure.
True. But but let's knock Texas out of the way. I agree that they would still be they can still be a playoff team. Their schedule is not as tough as Florida's, so they have some winnable games on their schedule still.
I don't think anybody's schedule is as tough as Florida's.
But
that might be the toughest one in the country. That's crazy.
But I do see a potential 3-loss team.
That's what I've been trying to say for weeks, Coach.
I do see a potential 3-loss team because I don't see them beating Georgia. Texas A&M could definitely sneak in there at the end of the season because they'll have a lot to play for.
Yep.
In that last game,
I would even argue Oklahoma has a really good chance of beating.
That was the other one I was going to. The Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is playing.
They're playing good football right now.
Very good football right now.
Yeah.
That quarterback, Mateen, something like that. Mateer, thank you, Carlos. He's playing good football right now.
Well, he is. They
dominated Michigan.
Yeah.
They really dominated them.
Yeah.
But Steve, before we leave, that NFL's tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Let's give our predictions. But first, let's talk. Let's do a rehash on the Thursday night game with the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. As I predicted, that I knew that game was going to be close. I knew it wasn't going to be a blowout. Everybody was talking about, they're going to blow out the Dolphins. They're going to beat them by 40. They always play Buffalo tough.
Mm-hmm.
And they had chances to pull that game out. It was just like the what game were we talking about earlier? They just like the Utah game. It was competitive for 3 quarters, and then they just pulled it away in the 4th. Same way Thursday night was. It was competitive for 3 quarters. Then Tua threw that costly interception, and the game slipped away.
Tua pulled a Tua.
Tua threw a Tua.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep, you don't call it interceptions no more. You just say don't throw a Tua.
Don't Tua.
Don't do a Tua. But we'll start with Carlos since he's a diehard Dolphins fan.
Well, not a.
You are?
Well, not a diehard, but I'm like a fan of the Dolphins. Not like a diehard. Like I'm like a fan of the Miami Dolphins. Not like a diehard. Not a diehard, basically. Yeah, man. So basically, the real momentum change was that roughing the kicker. That definitely just changed everything. Like Zach Searle, he didn't even need to block it. Like Buffalo was just gonna punt it away, and I think the game was tied. I think the game was tied when that happened. And that roughing the kicker penalty, kind of turned the tables a little bit. Buffalo had the ball back, and they scored, and it was all Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
After that.
It's always special teams.
He always
I'm telling you, bro.
He always got a he makes a every time Steve makes a point, Carlos.
Yeah.
Then we move on with the conversation. He always got to revert back to the point he made 2 hours ago.
Listen, I can't help it that it represents itself. When a big special teams play happen, it impacts the game that much more. I didn't make the rules. I just say the truth. And Carlos hit the nail on the head. He brought up the big penalty on special teams. It changed the entire momentum of the game because it's just I don't know why it's that way. It's just how it is. When there's a big thing that impacts the game on special teams, I don't know why it's that way. It just is what it is. You have a sudden change of possession, when you can manufacture points through special teams, it has that much more of an impact on the game. That's just football. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
It's like deflating for the team that it happens against, and it's uplifting to the team it happens for. It's like a vibes thing. And I hate saying it in that terms, but it's true.
It is, yeah.
So that was a tough loss for the Dolphins. And next week 4, which we'll touch on, we'll get on that when we do our week 4 preview. But week 4, Monday night, they're at home at Hard Rock against the Jets. And after that, they go on the road to Carolina. So those are their next 2 games. Those 2 games that I feel like they can sneak and get their first win.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say Miami's 0-3, right?
Yeah, they're 0-3.
You know what? I called the Colts lost week 1. I can't remember who they played week 2, but when they were playing at Indy the first week, I thought, I don't know, man. I just get this feeling that Daniel Jones isn't as bad as we all think. And against a team like Miami week 1, I could see the Colts winning that game.
Yep, and then the Bills, they start their schedule gets a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Next game they're at home against the Saints, and then they have a division game against the Patriots. But don't count out the Falcons, who they play after that.
Atlanta's lost a couple games, but they've been playing competitive ball. They played Tampa really tough. They could have won that game against Tampa.
No,
I think that was week 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
week
they're
1.
tough.
They're not bad, dude. They're not. Penix is good. You can see they're Robinson's good. They got good weapons around him. Like, they're not giving up a ton of points. Like, they got something there that they can just grind through these first 5 weeks and then maybe settle into something and figure out who they are. I think Atlanta could be all right.
Oh yeah. But no, let's.
Oh, he dropped it. Wow. What a loser.
Well, let's get into the other. I don't know how this is a primetime game, but let's get into the other primetime games for this week. We already talked about the Dolphins and the Bills. Next Sunday night, you have the Chiefs and the Giants, which is the toilet bowl. It's kind of crazy that we are talking about the Chiefs now and we're calling their primetime game the toilet bowl. Well, I am. So what are your thoughts on the Chiefs and Giants? We go with the soon to be grown adult.
Well, and I guess the NFL thought that this game would be a very good game in the beginning of the season when they scheduled it, but they're both 0-2, and I really hate to end my Sunday night with this game, so it's pretty
on your birthday.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty unfortunate.
That's a primetime game on your birthday.
Yeah, so that's the game that everyone's going to watch before they go to bed, So, like, it's unfortunate, but, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I guess one of the O's has to go. So I guess the headline's going to be who's going to get their first win, I guess.
You have to pick Kansas City, right? Like,
definitely, because
I mean, and this is where I'd say the Chargers lost week 1 for Kansas City, I think was a shock to a lot of people because everybody likes to make fun of Herbert. But Harbaugh being there may be a game changer for Herbert and that team. I think having Harbaugh around, he's proven he's a winner at multiple levels. Um, that's not an easy week one game playing in LA on the road against a team that has a good
No,
coach.
it was in
You know what I
Brazil.
mean? Like
It
Herbert.
was in Brazil.
The week
Oh,
one.
that's what I meant. I'm sorry. You're right. That wasn't
It was in
Brazil.
Brazil.
But still, it's an unorthodox way to start the season. It's not an easy game to just go win. And then they played who they play week 2 that they lost to.
They
The Super Bowl rematch.
Yes.
The Eagles.
So then they played Philly again. Philly is not an easy team. Do I think they've played in competitive games against two good teams? I think they can beat the Giants. If I'm picking, I'd pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Giants are just finding creative ways to lose.
Right.
Also,
Giants are being Giants.
and then you got this is a traditional Monday night game. This is what I wish Monday night would go back to. I hated when they did that flip. Sunday night went to Monday night and Monday night went to Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't like that flip, but this is a traditional Monday night game here. You got Detroit, the Ravens. The Ravens, tough start to their season. I believe they're 1-1 now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should be 2-0.
but this is not gonna be an easy one. But they're at home on a Monday night against Detroit, who has a lot to prove. However, it's still early in the season. I don't think,
Yeah.
even if Detroit loses this game, I don't think it's going to hurt them. But however, they still, the pack is moving.
Do you know who Detroit played last week?
last week they played the Bears, Chicago.
They won, right?
Yes. Yeah, they won pretty
Yeah,
good.
Because I know week
They
1.
beat them bad.
Yeah, week 1 they got bullied by Green Bay. Week
They beat
1.
Packers.
Yeah,
I
they
couldn't
already
remember
lost
who
to
they
Green Bay.
played week 2.
Yeah, week 2 they
But-
played the Bears. Yeah.
Okay.
But non-conference losses in the NFL don't hurt you as bad
Right.
as a division loss, but they already won down on Green Bay, so they don't want to. You can't afford to fall too far behind.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to have two losses and already a division loss, which means that puts you a full game behind the Packers
Mm-hmm.
with that division loss. So, but this is not going to be an easy one for the Lions. So let's start with you, Carlos. What are your thoughts on, what is your thoughts and predictions on this Monday night game, which I think is going to be a very, very, very good game. I'm going to have to tune into this one.
Yeah, and I think it's been a very good game on Monday night. Baltimore's at home. I'm gonna give Baltimore the edge just because they're at home. Usually during these big matchups, I would side with the home team because because of the home crowd, every slight factor matters, and Baltimore has the home atmosphere. I'm gonna go with Baltimore. Baltimore.
All right, Steve.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore. Obviously, Carlos said they're at home. They have the home field advantage. This is how I look at it. Baltimore has been playing really good football. If you really watch week 1, they're a Derrick Henry fumble away from being 2-0 right now. And from what I've seen from Detroit, last year they could score. Like their offense was putting up points. I haven't seen that this year. And what we've seen from Baltimore, even with that loss, they can score. Baltimore, the way their offense is playing, on top of being at home, I give Baltimore the edge. I think they can score. Detroit doesn't look like the same offense as last year. It just doesn't look the same. I don't think Detroit's bad, but their offense still needs to work out some things where I don't look at them. Like last year, they were scoring like 30 points a game. I don't think they're at that level right now. Baltimore can score. So if you can't keep up with them, you're going to have a tough time on the road.
I think they did Detroit they gave Detroit some grace by scheduling this game in September and not in December.
Mm-hmm.
If it was December, I was like Detroit has no chance.
I would agree.
And that cold.
And yeah, in that cold, freezing, open stadium, and that's like dome teams have never fared well
No.
in out and again outdoors later in the year.
Bro. Us
Never.
AFC North teams, we don't believe in domes. We
Yeah,
don't have
AFC
that.
North, they don't.
We don't
that's-
believe in that. It's gonna be a dogfight. You're gonna deal with the weather. It's gonna be if you're a West Coast team or a team from down south, you're gonna come up and play in the snow. You don't get no dome. You're gonna have to deal with it with the weather on top of getting. That's one thing I'll say. Pittsburgh hasn't been Pittsburgh the last few years, but you're gonna get hit in the AFC North, and you're gonna deal with some bad weather. And when you combine the two, it's not fun. It's just not a fun place. I agree with you. If this was later in the year, November, they would not be, December, they would not be. It's good they're playing them now, but I still don't think it's going to benefit them. I think Baltimore at home has the advantage.
I think it's going to be closer than. I think it's going to be a close game. I think
Could be.
if Detroit can run the ball and keep that pass rush honest, they have to keep that pass rush honest by running the ball. Because if they have to throw 30 times more, if Jared Goff has to throw over 30 times to win this game, Baltimore is just going to tee off on them.
Yeah. And that
And
means
they're going to force some turnovers.
Baltimore's scoring a lot of points if he's going to have to throw the ball over 30 times. That means Baltimore's putting points up.
Yeah, or they're just struggling to move, or they're in third and long situations a lot. Second and long, third and long. So they have to take care of the ball. They have to run the ball on first down, second. Early downs, they have to pound that football, get positive yards on the early down situation so they don't have to be in those, like 3rd and 5 against Baltimore is like 3rd and 10.
Yep.
So they have to have them short. Golf has proven that he can win these tough games.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still going to give the edge to Baltimore, but I think it's going to be close because I don't think Baltimore has shown that they're going to, they will come to form probably midway through the season.
It's
right now,
crazy though, Coach. And I'm not, I'm a Steeler guy, so I hate talking positively about Baltimore. If you take that fumble away that Derrick Henry had week 1 against Buffalo, they beat them by more than 2 scores. And Baltimore's sitting at 2-0 with 2 nice victories. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're 1-1 right now, but man, they were controlling the majority of that game against Buffalo, who is traditionally a good team.
They were dominating that game, but
that's what I mean. It's like, I know they're 1-1, but when you really watch that game, it's like, man, how did Baltimore lose this? So
but that's still been their MO.
Mm-hmm.
They find ways to lose big games.
That's true. And to be honest, like, I know Lamar catches a lot of flack, but the last 2 times they've played Buffalo, it came to Mark Andrews dropping a 2-point conversion or dropping a touchdown. Remember that? It was in the flats.
Yes.
He was wide open and dropped it. And then basically Derrick Henry fumbled it to give Buffalo a chance.
Which he rarely does.
Which really, I can't put that on Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, I can't put that on Lamar. I can't. It's just a shame because it seems like they find these weird, unorthodox ways to screw something up at the very end. Now it's a regular season game against Buffalo this year. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's one game. The playoff game last year, though, that when Andrews dropped it, all I'm saying is it seems like they're finding ways to lose games in big games, and it's not really Lamar's fault, is what I'm saying.
I'm blaming Lamar. I'm just saying the team as a whole.
Oh, right. I'm not saying you are. I just know a lot of the narrative because you know how it is with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks take a lot of the blame. They take the glory when they win, but they take the blame when they lose. I've heard a lot of people well, Lamar can't win big games. And it's like, well, in these last couple big games with Buffalo, it's like he's done everything he's needed to do. It seems like the guys around him screwed up at the wrong moment.
True. Well, this the last thing we're going to talk about. Let's give our predictions about tomorrow's games. We're going to start with the noon games. I'm going to try to get you out of here before 11 o'clock, Carlos.
Before 11, okay.
So let's speed through this. Let's start with the first game on there. Atlanta and Carolina. I pretty much agree that both you guys are going to pick Atlanta in this game, but we'll start with you, Steve.
Atlanta.
Falcons,
You guys got the Falcons.
ATL.
All right. Um, by 2 scores, 3 scores, close.
Uh, eh, eh, Probably 2 scores, but but uh, but it's the NFL, obviously. So the NFL is not like college football. So like,
Mm-hmm.
so it might be close. I
All
don't know.
right. Well, another one, but probably breeze through this one. Pack and the Browns. You know, I think I can say you guys are both picking Green Bay, right?
Packers,
Green Bay.
go
Green
Pack.
Bay. Okay. Another toilet bowl game. I hate to say this because I'm starting to like C.J. Stroud, but you still got a great young quarterback matchup: C.J. Stroud versus Trevor Lawrence. Travis Hunter is starting to play good ball on the defensive side. He's starting to come to form. He's getting comfortable covering these NFL receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you guys have on this one?
Go ahead, Carlos.
Man, it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Because the Texans are 0-2 right now. Like, it's gonna be really hard to imagine them going 0-3. Like, a- and then when you look at Jacksonville, they're 1-1 with a loss to
The
they lost
Bengals.
to
They
the
should be
Bengals.
2-0.
They should have won that game though.
They
Yeah,
should have won that against the Bengals.
yeah, true. So shoot, man. Hey, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I probably got to go Jacksonville, and the Texans are gonna go 0-3.
Jacksonville. I'm
Mm.
taking them too. I was going to do that, Carlos. I take Jacksonville.
Are y'all
Yeah,
both going with Jacksonville? Oh, see, I agree. All right, next one. Um, this is the battle of the backups. You got Cincinnati, and Minnesota. You know, Joe Burrow's out with the toe injury, and JJ McCarthy is also out. I can't remember what was his injury, but JJ is out. Carson Wentz is playing
yeah,
for Minnesota, and I think with Carson Wentz there, with a veteran,
veteran.
that's going to move the ball. They're going to get the ball downfield, get Justin Jefferson, those downfield touches that he loves. So I think Minnesota will win this game at home. Their defense is solid. Even
Yep.
with JJ was struggling last week, the defense did all they can to keep them in the game against the Falcons. But I think Minnesota will pull this out. And but I was wishing that it would be the other way around, man. Joe was there, and you get that shootout, and you see who's the better receiver in the league today.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a shame we're not going to see a full display because the offense is in the Jefferson Chase matchup. That was
Yeah.
going to be fun, but real quick, I'm taking Minnesota at home. I think the defense is better. Given that both quarterbacks are out, I'm taking the defense, and I think Minnesota has a better defense. In the fact that Wentz at least knows what he's doing. I don't even know who the backup is in Cincy. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going Minnesota.
all right. So for the Bengals, they got Jake Browning. That's the backup for
Oh, that's
Cincinnati.
right. I knew that.
Jake Browning. And then for Minnesota, they have obviously Carson Wentz. Just because of that, I'm gonna go with the veteran experience.
I'm,
I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
yeah, Carson Wentz.
I'm gonna go with the
Now we get to talk about. I should have saved his team for. You want me to save your team for last?
No, I don't want no special treatment. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, we got Pittsburgh going to Foxborough. I'm calling it Foxborough. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, Foxborough.
I'm going Foxborough. I miss them days when Troy Polamalu was over there laying the stuffing out of Tom Brady.
Man,
I miss those days
miss him.
and that strong defense. But Pittsburgh, still defense carries, and they still got a strong defense.
Oh,
I hope you guys fact check me if T.J. Watt is playing.
I'm not
Um,
sure.
I'm like that is a theme that I'm getting tired of hearing of every time Pittsburgh asking is T.J. Watt out going to play. That is getting that is getting irritating. But New England, you know, they're looking like they're trying to get back on the rise. But
I'm,
I still think Aaron Rodgers and the that veteran leadership, Pittsburgh is come in there and they'll pull this one out. So I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers just because the Patriots beat my Dolphins. Steelers. They're gonna beat the Pats in Foxborough.
Well, I salute to you. At least you're being honest about your reason.
I'm
Steelers.
taking Pats. I'm taking the Pats at home
Oh my goodness.
because I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is old reliable Pittsburgh defense anymore. I've seen them giving up 30 points to a Justin Fields Jets team, and I saw them just get blown out last week. Who the hell did we play last week? I can't even remember. Who did we play last week?
Last week it was the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Seahawks with Aaron Donald, and they scored 30 points too, I think, or close to it.
Sam
yeah,
Darnold.
Sam Darnold, thank you. Until Pittsburgh can hold somebody under 30 points, I'm not picking them. I pick the Pats at home.
Oh, he picked the Pats.
Okay.
I show you I'm a realist. You heard me talk about Notre Dame. Now you hear me pick the Pats over my Steelers. I don't twerk for my team like that. I'm a fan, but I'm a realist. Till Pittsburgh holds somebody under 30 points, I ain't gonna pick them. That defense looks sorry. Even with TJ, defense looks sorry, bro. Not good.
Well, next, this one I think should have been the prime time game of the week. I think this is the best matchup of this week, other than Monday night's game. But I'll take this one over Monday night. You got the Rams, undefeated, going up against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, who are still the only team that hasn't scored a passing touchdown. And I think that trend will continue because the Rams are a very solid team. However, for my division, I would love to see the Eagles win, but I can't, man. Screw the Eagles.
It's hard to pick against them right now.
But I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay.
I think they can go in there and shock everyone and
If
beat the Super Bowl, the defending champs.
if this were in LA, I would take them. But because it's in Philly, I'm taking Philly.
You know why I'm taking them? You know why I'm taking the Rams too? Also, because just like the Lions, this game is in September and not December.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
fair.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Hard to play over there in Philly. So Eagles.
All right, well, did you make your pick, Steve?
Yeah, I'm taking Philly.
Oh, Philly. Okay. And then you got the man that needs to get more respect than he's getting as an elite quarterback, Baker, touchdown maker. At home against the Jets, I think we are going to pick the Bucks on this
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
Just move, and then this move on to to my opinion, that's the most surprising team of the start of the season. I know it's only, it's the season's still young. It's only week 3, but Daniel Jones is balling out.
He is, man.
So this game right here is going to be the sleeper game of the weekend. If Daniel Jones could keep playing like he is, going up against the number 1 pick, Cam Ward, I think this might be the game of the week. But I think the Colts will continue their winning ways, stay undefeated. I'm gonna take Indy. What about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna go with the Colts, but I don't think it's gonna be easy going on the road to Tennessee. I don't think it's gonna be easy. So give me the Colts. They're gonna go 3-0, but I don't know if they're gonna keep it up till next week.
No, I think it's gonna be a very fun game to watch.
It is. Yeah, I will.
It's gonna be an exciting game.
Cam Ward in Tennessee. No, I'm gonna go Indy though.
Unless the New York Giants Daniel Jones just wakes up and then just throws like 4 picks.
I've been a Cam Ward guy ever since the draft. I liked him at Miami. I know they are 0-2, but I honestly think this is the week people are going to really recognize because they've played competitive ball. Like Tennessee has 2 losses, but they don't look bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think this might be the week. They got the team that's making some noise at home. I'm going to take Tennessee.
So
Okay.
we're okay. Are you keeping up with the picks, Carlos?
I think so.
Oh, you usually write them down.
Now we're good. We're good.
All right. Next, we have 2 teams. Well, one team is a disappointment so far to me, and the other one is looking like their old self with Pete Carroll. You got the Raiders coming to DC. They are in DC, right? Yeah. Against the Washington Redskins. Yeah, I'm gonna say Redskins. I ain't calling them the Commanders.
The Redskins.
They're the Redskins.
I like
Um,
me.
but Jaden Daniels getting that sophomore slump which always, that is not something that we make up. That
Oh,
when
brother.
teams got a whole year of film on you,
It's a real thing.
yeah, they got the whole year of film on you. They can, make those adjustments, and we were talking about it, you know, in the off season, on Bruce's show. We're like they're gonna have a year. They're gonna have a year. I think you the one pointed it out on the show when you called in. You're like they're gonna have a whole year of film on Jaden Daniels this whole off season. Defensive coordinators, this is the NFL. They're going to make their adjustments, and the key to his success is how he adjusts to those adjustments. So far, it hasn't been looking good for Jaden Daniels,
Mm-mm.
but I don't. This may be the week he can turn it around. But Pete Carroll is a veteran coach.
Mhm.
He's very good at scheming, and he loves to run the
I
football.
was just gonna say, you remember him from USC. If there's one thing he could do, is he could coordinate a defense to go get you
Yep.
quarterback. Because of this, I'm not to be premature. I'm taking Oakland, or I'm sorry, I'm taking Vegas. I'm taking the Raiders. And we've talked about this sophomore slump, Coach. I'm glad you remember because I called in because it's on repeat every time. Herbert wins Rookie of the Year. Everybody said Herbert was the next best thing. Herbert has never lived up so far to his rookie season. Then we saw it with CJ. CJ with the Texans. They looked great. Everything was wonderful. And then last year, we're like, man, what happened? And now we're seeing it with Jaden, which I think he has long-term ability, but this is part of the process. Once these defensive coordinators get film on you, they understand your strengths, your weaknesses, what to take away, what they want you to do. And Pete Carroll's the type of coach that he knows how to coordinate a defense. I'm taking the Raiders.
And he likes to run the football.
Yep.
And you got Ashton Genty back there.
Yep.
I mean, but you got to think about Washington spent all this money in the offseason to get all these weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And when they made all them moves, I said they're going to have a worse season than they did. We've seen this movie before. Remember, Buffalo did it with Bruce Smith, and they got all that talent there, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen this movie happen before in the NFL. You can't build super teams in the NFL and think you're going to win.
Right.
Oh, my bad, Carlos.
So my pick. I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well because the Commanders did. Jaden Daniels is not gonna be playing this game. He actually got injured, so Marcus Mariota will take over as the quarterback.
That's a big difference.
Oh man, I was going to take him even with Jaden Daniels, but now that I hear that, yeah.
Yeah. Marcus Mariota is gonna be the starter for this game for the Raiders.
I didn't even know he was hurt.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Ashton Genty, Geno Smith, and I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Marcus Mariota is a surprise though when he comes out there as that backup though. He will sneak and win some games for you. He's done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he? I think who was he with before? Was it Tennessee? He
Yeah,
did
he
it with.
spent time in
Tennessee.
Tennessee. He was somewhere else too.
I think it Tennessee. Yeah, I think it was Tennessee though. He made those noise. He went on that winning streak.
Yeah, I know he was in Tennessee. I don't remember how long he played or what. Wasn't he in Oak or well at the time it was Oakland? Wasn't he with the Raiders too for a while?
I don't remember him being with the Raiders.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Well, we don't have nobody in the chat to fact check it though.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I still even hearing that news that makes me want to take the Raiders even more now.
Well, we got a clean sweep on the Raiders. Here we go to the AFC West. At the beginning of the season, we weren't even thinking much about this game, but now, both of the two, and the AFC West is just catching up to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos have that elite defense. You got Bo Nix at the helm going up against John Harbaugh. No, yeah,
Jim.
John Harbaugh.
Jim.
No, Jim. John, Jim. They need to change their names.
Jim and John.
You got Jim Harbaugh with flowing hair, as y'all call him. Justin Herbert. I already know one guy on this panel is still not sold on him. But
Who, me?
no, I'm not saying any names.
I'm not against Herbert.
But at home, only reason I'm gonna just take the Chargers because they're at home. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win this game either.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I'd take the Chargers too. I think that sophomore slump's real. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be what we all saw his rookie year as well. It just seems to be a trend. I'm taking the Chargers.
I just think the Broncos defense is better.
I agree, but
And they're the better football team. The Broncos are.
yeah,
But I just think at home, Chargers, well, that's going to come out to the quarterback. Let's see if Herbert can do it again. They can snatch a game away from a better opponent.
Herbert's looked good so far this year.
He's done it already once this season.
He's looked good so far this year. Now it's only been 2 games, but he's looked good. Like, I've got to give good credit where it's due. Where I think he had an amazing rookie year and he kind of like hit that sophomore slump and he never really bounced back. But it seems like this year maybe he's figuring things out. And sometimes when you get a coach like a Harbaugh, sometimes that cures a lot of things, man. When you have a really good coach, that can definitely help you. So
it's helping him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the talent's there. We saw it from his rookie year. Like, he is talented. Now, all the hype he got just because of the talent where he wasn't winning games, that's where it's like, okay, this gets annoying. But so far this year, he's, won a game against Kansas City. I think he can beat the Broncos at home.
What about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna go with the Chargers because of Derwin James, my fellow my fellow Seminole, Derwin James.
Why not Joe Alt? We go with the Chargers for Joe Alt, baby. Go Irish.
Hey.
There you guys go. Go Irish. They don't have no Trojans over there, so. But all right, let's move on. I don't even think we should just pick this game.
Yeah.
Saints and Seahawks.
Everybody's gonna pick Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that one's a layup.
Here's another crash bin bowl game. Let me stop disrespecting these
yeah, I know, right?
athletes and their organizations. You got fingernails going up against
fingernails.
Yeah, fingernails going up against
oh, dude.
against Prescott.
Oh,
fingernails.
Fingernails against Prescott.
Oh, bro.
You got two teams that are being talked about for things other than their play on the field.
All the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
God.
this is the soap opera bowl in this game. The Cowboys got gifted a win last week. The Giants just
Yeah.
gave them the game on. I know we're about to wrap it up. We're about to wrap it up, Steve.
No, you're good, bro. Listen, I had a long, dude. The last 2 days have been the
Oh,
2 longest days. I'm an old man now. I need my power naps. I haven't got my power naps last 2 days, dude. I'm just been busy.
well, today's
I'm
all,
trying to stay up for y'all's game. I'm going to watch the Michigan State USC game. I'm going to do what
and
I
I'm gonna
can
try
to stay
to.
up.
Well, I'm giving you. Well, it's 11, so it's gonna come on shortly.
I was going to say I'm just finishing the Miami game. I'm going to put y'all on. I'm going to watch a little bit of this Colorado game too. They're playing Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, Colorado. Yeah.
But it looks like Miami has this game and that game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they just kneeled it out. They won.
the game's in a wrap. But you got two teams that are being known for everything but their play on the field this season. Maybe they're tanking for Arch.
For Arch. For Arch.
You ain't gonna be taking for Arch this year. Maybe in 2 years because he's
I don't
gonna
know.
need it.
Or then maybe maybe they think Carson Beck will be the next guy. Who knows? But I don't think these teams are planning to make the playoffs. But I will take the Cowboys in this one. I think they're gonna take this one. I think their defense is, if they get their act together. The guy they got from Green Bay is a very solid defensive tackle. So I think if he can keep it up, they will not miss Micah Parsons. But I'm
No,
gonna
I
take
agree.
the
I
Cowboys
agree.
on this one.
I'm gonna take Dallas as well. I'll be honest, they played Philly really tough, and Philly's kind of like the bar right now because they're the champs. The way they played Philly, as much as I don't like Dallas, I got to give credit where it's due. It's like they played competitive ball with Philly for like almost, for like 3.5 quarters. And then, at the end, it is what it is. But
Well,
I'll go with Dallas.
But just like you said with Baltimore, with the Henry fumble, if it wasn't for the CD Lamb drops,
Yep.
that game would have been different.
Yeah, I agree.
Would have been different. Maybe
I kind of think Dallas. I mean, I know they have a loss with Philly, and the Giants situation where it seems like they were handed the win, but they've played competitive football so far. I favor their competitive edge over so far what I've seen with the Bears, and it's just hard for me to pick a quarterback that paints his fingernails. I'm just going to be honest.
And the Trojans, we don't claim them.
Yeah. Well, I have no problem admitting when players are good. I don't care where they come from.
No, I can't. No,
it has nothing to do with him being from USC.
Stop it, Steve.
I have no hate. Listen, once he graduated, I don't have any hate.
Nah, you don't claim nobody that paints their fingernails.
Now that's the problem. It's the fingernails paint, not the fact that he went to USC. Now, from your perspective, claiming him. No, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I don't blame you. If I had a Notre Dame guy in the NFL painting his nails, I'd be like, nope, we don't know him.
We don't know him.
We
I don't know him.
We don't know him.
I don't know that dude.
I don't know him. I don't want to know him. Nope.
Nope. Welcome to Grown Folk Talk, Carlos.
I know.
Bro. This is your generation, Carlos. All these guys painting their nails, bro. You got to speak some sense into these young bloods, bro.
Yeah, I know. They're just
crazy.
Painting their fingernails, wearing loop earrings.
Look at all these dudes in the NBA now painting their nails in their hair.
Yeah,
crazy.
What are these dudes putting beads in their hair?
I don't know.
Grown men wearing beads in their hair. That's for a 7-year-old girl, not for no grown man.
I'm mean. if I say it all, I'm a hater and all this, but man, I don't understand why people don't like wearing suits the game. Man, if I had that type of money, you wouldn't catch me outside. I'd be always wearing a suit. I'd look like the Teflon Don, bro. You'd be like, oh, man, he looks sharp all the time. I don't understand why these guys don't like wearing suits. If I had that kind of money, shit, I'd be wearing a suit every day.
Oh, my God.
Yep, in the press conference, but it's suited
Yeah,
and booted.
man.
Oh,
All right,
man.
but let's let Carlos get his pick in. But you're right. But you're right. The Cowboys 2 divisional games, the NFC West always play each other tough, no matter the record. So again, Cowboys. All right, Carlos.
Man, and I can't believe Chicago might go 0-5. Like they might actually go 0-5 because after the Cowboys,
That's what happens when your quarterback has a fanny pack and paints his fingernails.
crazy, right? Because after the Cowboys, they have to go on the road to Vegas, take on the Raiders, and then go on the road and take on the Commanders, and then after that, they'll probably get a win over the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys because it's America's Game of the Week on Fox. It's gonna be a nationally televised game, and usually the Cowboys, they're always on there on America's Game of the Week. So yeah, I'd probably give the Cowboys.
It's America's Game on the Week. The NFL was in the toilet.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's America's Game on Fox. So it's the prime.
You got the Rams, Eagles. You got.
Isn't that a 1:00 game, Coach? The Rams and the Eagles.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
what he's saying. He's saying it's the national game at 4.
Yeah.
There's better games. There's definitely better games.
Yeah.
This one just happens to be the prime time.
Probably won't be. It's
slot.
probably not a double header. I don't think it's a double header.
Yeah, right. But that's the game. I think that's the game that Tom Brady's going to call. The lead crew of Fox. I think that's going to be the game.
Man, they rather play the game that we got saved for last. You got another two undefeated teams playing for first place.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised that they're not going for this.
NFC West.
That's the Cowboy effect.
Yep, America's team.
I don't like them, but it's just the truth. They have such a brand that they're always going to. That's how the game is. It comes down to viewership and money, and Cowboys are going to generate, whether it's love or hate, they're going to generate views.
Yeah, like Bronny James.
Exactly.
But let's get to the final game on the Sunday schedule at the 4:00 schedule. You got 2 teams. They actually got 3 teams in that division undefeated. But by this time, if Carlos's pick is right, then it will only have 2 teams undefeated. So at the end of the day, you might have 1. But we got the Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco, another division game. I don't think Brock Purdy is playing again. So that's gonna be tough. I don't know if can Mac Jones have another one in him. Get some tougher opponent. They're not. This is not the Saints. So
right.
But you are at home. You have an elite running game. You have a coach that always schemes well against his opponent. So no matter who's at quarterback, he always puts them in a situation where they don't have to do too much. He takes the pressure off of them, which only a few coaches can do that. So, with that being said, I'm still going to go with my San Francisco 49ers. I'm not going to do a Steve.
Okay.
Why are you looking in the camera like that?
Guys.
You see that side eye?
Okay.
He knows what I'm thinking and not saying, so that's why he's doing that.
Don't worry, I'll say it, Coach. I'm taking Arizona. If Purdy was playing, I'd feel differently. If Purdy was playing at home, I'd probably take San Fran, but it's not easy to ask somebody like Mac Jones to win a divisional competitive game. Arizona's looked pretty good. Now, Grant, one of their games was, I think, against the Saints, which is like a bye week. But I'll give the edge to Arizona slightly, even though they're on the road. But the quarterback impact makes a difference to me. I'll give the slight edge to Arizona.
Carlos.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Cards as well. Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray, he's gonna be the game changer. Kyler Murray, his running ability is he, he's elite. He's very elite, and he's gonna be the difference maker on that Sunday afternoon in the Bay Area.
Okay. All right. Last thing, and then we'll wrap this up. What are your Who do you think your standouts for week 3 will be? Um, let's see how. Let's make it easy. Let's start with the AFC.
Oh, A's.
Your AFC offensive player of the week. Who you guys predict will be the AFC player of the week?
Oh man, you might have to throw those games back up. I can't remember all the matchups.
Want me to put the games back up?
Yeah, throw the games back up so I can see. AFC. Does it have to be an AFC matchup or just a guy?
No, just the AFC. No, not the matchup. Just AFC
Okay.
player of the week for offense.
Based off the matchups, I'm gonna go. Go ahead, Carlos. I got to think for a second.
I'm gonna be surprised at mine.
Yeah, I know. There's some options here, but offensively, might go with Patrick Mahomes because Kansas City, they're taking on New York, the Giants, and I think Patrick Mahomes should have a field day over there in New York. So that's probably the only reason I'll go with Patrick Mahomes over there in Kansas City. So yeah, probably Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I'm off to switch because Carlos picked mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because matching up against the Giants,
He should have a field day.
you should. But I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna go with Lamar on
Lamar
Monday. I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson on Monday night
Monday night. Okay.
against Monday night against the Lions. I think he still has that chip on his shoulder. I think he's playing with that chip with his shoulder all season, and he has something to prove.
Damn.
Which is kind of crazy to say when somebody came off of an MVP level season.
Damn,
So-
y'all took that's who I was thinking of because when Carlos took Mahomes, I was thinking, oh, okay, well then I might go Lamar, and now you took Lamar, so that forces me because I ain't going to copycat. I want to be original here.
That's what I did. I was like, shit, he took Mahomes. I'm gonna go with somebody.
All right, I'm going to go with
You can stick with the guy that played too,
no, that's
because Josh
that's
Allen
lame.
did have a solid game on Thursday.
Yeah, but he's already played. That's done with. That's cheap. I'm going to go with just for the hell of it. I'm going to go with flowing hair. Give me Justin Herbert
Justin Herbert.
in the Broncos matchup. It's
I'm
a
gonna have
divisional
to-
game. They're playing at home. Give
I'm
me
cutting-
flowing hair.
I'm cutting this and sending this to Bruce.
Go ahead. Well, y'all took Lamar and Mahomes. I'm kind of have to think outside the box.
No,
I'm gonna go with Herbert.
No, the way he be talking bad about flowing hair, and he's gonna be the AFC player standout for week 3. No, I
don't think it's likely, but I want to come up with an original pick. I don't want to copycat, so I'm gonna go with Herbert.
All right.
Divisional game. It's important at home. He might do something crazy. We'll see.
All right. I hate to do this, but we the Be Ready Sports Podcast. We're gonna be different. We're gonna be different. Who do y'all think gonna stink it up?
AFC or just in general?
We're still on the AFC. On the
Okay.
AFC side, who you think gonna stink it up?
Who's my stinker for the AFC this week? Um,
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna go. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I can't pick him because he played already.
You talking about a player or a team?
Player.
Okay.
Or you can pick if you want to pick a team. You can pick a team.
No, I like the player actually. That's
I was
good.
gonna-
I will get specific.
That'll make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. My stinker. I'm gonna go with CJ. I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud.
Oh, we're sticking with quarterbacks.
It's kind of hard to pick somebody that's not a quarterback because you could pick a lot. I mean, you could go. I'm just gonna go with CJ.
CJ.
I think based off playing Jacksonville, everybody thinks Jacksonville's awful. CJ had a lot of hype based off last year. Well, the last couple of years. And I picked Jacksonville. So I think the stinker is going to be CJ. I think he's going to have a subpar performance for a Jacksonville victory. And people are going to be like, damn, what happened to CJ?
I'm gonna say the Cleveland Browns offensive line.
Cleveland Browns offensive line.
Honestly, that's why I asked team at first because that one sticks out. Green Bay's about to mop Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna blame it on Joe Flacco.
Because honestly, you could just put all of Cleveland. Because I think Green Bay's gonna. I think they're gonna.
I just think their offensive line is gonna. That Green Bay's pass rush stepped in it.
Green Bay's defense looks for real, bro.
Yeah, they look different. They playing with a different intensity now. They got Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm. They were good last year, and then they added Micah. They're elite now.
Yeah, that's that psychological. You got that monster now on your defense. You just play more free.
When you can bring in a game-changing pass rusher, that changes everything, dude.
Yeah, so I just think that whole Cleveland Brown offensive line is just going to stink it up this week.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Carlos?
Probably going to go Jake Browning over in Cincinnati. He's taking on the Vikings. He's making his second, I believe, career start. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Jake Browning, the backup quarterback.
That's a good pick.
Okay. And now my Cinderella pick, I'm gonna go with Ashton Genty against that Commanders defense.
Genty, okay. So outside quarterback, okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be my I don't know why I shouldn't say Cinderella pick. What's the term that I'm missing? The
non-QB.
Basically, yeah, non-QB.
Yeah, Ashton Genty against that Commanders defense. Because Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. He has a couple games. I think he's just gonna get stronger as the season goes on. He's a fucking workhorse, man. That dude is a beast. I'm not saying he's gonna turn and be beast mode 2.0, but he's trucking food. Ashton Genty. All right, let's go. Let's go to the NFC. Unless you guys want to pick a secondary pick. I know I didn't pick defense.
Nah,
but
let's just go NFC.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
picking a defense. Well, let's go in your breakout pick for the NFC. Let's start with you, Carlos, this time.
Right. I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray, Arizona. It's a big game for him.
Why is all these shots he's taking at me today?
You know what's crazy is I was literally about to say Kyler. I think Kyler might have a game. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, because
both of y'all are taking shots. I have no faith in the Niners defense. Okay.
Both teams are undefeated, and I feel like Kyler Murray, he can make a difference, and I feel like he'll stand out. He'll be a huge standout.
Shots, man. Just woo.
I'm taking NFC standout. I'm gonna take. Mm,
I wish Carlos was writing this down.
Oh,
I'm gonna take. Man, I want it. Man, I'm stuck on two. I'm gonna go with. I want to take quarterback, but I want to mix it up a little bit. I'm stuck between Josh Jacobs and Bijan Robinson.
Mm.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Robinson.
Bijan, okay.
Bijan Robinson.
Mm. I like that pick because I was gonna go with the same team but pick the quarterback.
Honestly, I was thinking the two that stood out was Green Bay in their matchup with Cleveland and Atlanta in their matchup with
Yeah,
Carolina.
I was
Those are the
thinking
two
Atlanta.
that stood out. Honestly,
Man,
Coach, they stuck out like a red coat. That's why I was sitting there thinking, man, who? But I feel like the quarterback. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna do Bijan Robinson.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was going that way too. But since you took Bijan, yeah, that Panthers.
yeah, they're
Uh,
rough.
I'm gonna go.
Damn, Michigan State just hit a bomb.
Already.
Yeah, it's 7-3.
I'm gonna go with Baker touchdown maker against the Jets.
That's a good pick.
Baker Mayfield, okay.
Are you writing this down, Carlos?
Oh, am I? Not
Oh,
really.
I'll just remember. I'll
Man,
remember.
you gotta watch the show back
Yeah,
to
I'll
write down
text.
the picks.
Yeah, I'll text Coach here when I'm undefeated in my picks. I'm like,
You're
yep.
undefeated. Okay.
You think that now, Carlos?
Man, we gotta do this. We gotta do this more often.
Yeah.
You gotta get on here and make our picks. We gotta do this more often.
Saturday night special. I'm down.
Saturday night special.
College football and NFL. I'm down.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll leave it at that. I know Carl. I know you had a couple more topics here about the NFL,
No, we're good. It's been
Yeah.
a long stream already.
but
No, we're good.
we'll end it here. Well, that's fellas. That really, Carlos.
What? No, just keep it like this.
Jeez Louise.
The widescreen.
Tomorrow, man, I'm not gonna say Jeez Louise to you tomorrow. You're gonna be a grown man. I'm gonna unleash. Treat you like an adult.
My gosh.
Son of a bitch, Carlos.
Who the do you think you are, Carlos? You gonna change my mother format, Carlos? You think you are?
Man. Oh man.
You got me.
You're gonna go all out.
Like I know where you live. No. I can't be saying stuff like that on air. They're like, oh, he's making threats.
Yeah.
It's like he's making threats to his co-host.
Hey.
All right, Carlos, count us out.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
To be ready, you what, Steve?
Stay ready.
Ah, that's my dude. And we out, y'all. Tune in tomorrow when we close out the weekend with. Oh, we can't close. We've got our spill, but when we tune in tomorrow when we close out the weekend, with this is Florida Hoopers weekend with my man Chad Johnson Jr., aka CJ, and no, it's not Ocho Cinco's son. I mean, that would be epic, but but no, it's not Ocho Cinco's son. And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like Carlos said, hit that thumbnail, You know, every time we go
The-
live,
The bell icon, bell, not thumbnail.
thumbnail, bell icon. Stop correcting me.
Button.
Hit the button, exactly.
And
All
if you
the
want
button.
and if you want to donate to the show, remember it's not Cash App anymore. You donate to us through Zelle at 954-664-8962. And support. Oh, you must have took it off here, Carlos.
I did? Nah.
Oh, there it is. And support our man Speedy. Well, T2 Fast, whatever you want to, Mr. Theron West. Yep. We're talking about the Theron West that went to Washington. His son, Steve. Support his clothing line. Yep. We had Theron West's son on here. Theron West the second. Support his clothing line. Go to silentfear.online and you can, you know, support my man's clothing line. Now that we did our spiel, we stay ready. We see y'all tomorrow.
Yes.